It's a streak unlike any baseball has seen in more than half a century. The young, brash, talented Oakland A's have become an unstoppable force. It all started innocently enough August the 13th.
Total domination by Corey Lytle tonight.
Tejada wins another ball game. And it's a line drive base hit center field. 19 straight for the Athletics.
ESPN2 Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Jiffy Lube. We're here at huge Network Associates Coliseum where a huge crowd is expected to see the hometown A's. As you can see, already 19 consecutive wins. If they win again tonight, it would be the longest winning streak in the history of the American League. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Schulman with you here in Oakland. The big picture is even more important. The A's are trying to make the playoffs for the third consecutive year. And the two teams chasing them in the American League West have both already finished their games. The Angels have won. The Mariners have lost. So Oakland's lead atop the AL West right now is just 3 games. Pretty impressive considering how well they've played that Anaheim has hung with them. Tony Gwynn is here in Oakland as well. And this winning streak, the big hits over the Labor Day weekend, Tony, all of a sudden the A's are getting a lot of attention. And Miguel Tejada is getting some overdue attention as well.
Yeah, there's no question about it. He's definitely had an MVP-type season. But you're right. The streak has really put a lot of attention on him. He's been a solid player for Oakland since he got here. But 18, 20 games in a row, I mean, how long is this thing going to go?
As good as Tejada is, when you think about Oakland, what really separates them from every other team in baseball is the quality and depth of their starting rotation. And we'll see one of the guns tonight in Tim Hudson.
Yeah, Tim's won 4 of those 20 or 19 in a row. He's been a solid performer, just like this whole Oakland A club. Until the streak, really, pitching had garnered all the attention. And when you look at these numbers, 15-0 with a 2.34 ERA, you understand why.
It might not be easy for the A's to make it 20 straight wins here tonight because Kansas City's ace, All-Star Paul Byrd, a 15-game winner, will be on the mound for the Royals here tonight. But who knows? The A's don't seem to care who they're facing. Roll them out on the field, and they're going to find a way to win. And we welcome you back to Oakland. Not a cloud in the sky as the A's get set to take on the Kansas City Royals in the final game of this 2-game series with an off day right in the middle yesterday. Boy, we're used to talking about how the A's don't get any attention here. It's all about the Giants here in the Bay Area, Tony. But right now, with 19 consecutive wins, I think everybody in baseball all across the country is thinking and talking about the Oakland Athletics.
I mean, I think you're right. It's easy to get caught up in this streak. I mean, especially the last 2 victories. They come from behind and late inning heroics, and people are genuinely excited about this team. And witness the people trying to get in. I mean, packed house, crazy hats, shorts.
Some need a little bit of fashion sense, but you know what? He's a fan. Yep. He paid his money. He's in the ballpark. More power to him. Here they come, the winners of 19 in a row. The Oakland A's right now with a record of 87-51, and for the 3rd straight year, a slow start to the season. But in the second half of the year, the A's appear to be the best team in baseball right now. It all starts with the starters for the Oakland A's. Mark Mulder, Barry Zito, Corey Lytle with that incredible scoreless inning stretch. But if you ask people around this team, they say this guy is the leader. This guy is the heart and soul of this pitching staff.
Well, I would pretty much agree. I mean, he's the guy that's been here the longest. And, there were years where he was winning games and showing these young guys how to win. And it's been a tough season for him. He got off to a slow start, but he's turned this thing around, and the biggest thing is just throwing strikes, working ahead in the camp.
An ultra-competitive guy, not a big guy, but so relaxed before the game, doing interviews the day of his start, which starting pitchers never do. And I just saw him walk down from the bullpen after he finished his warm-up tosses. He stopped by the seats, found a young fan, and handed the baseball he was warming up with over the tarp to a kid in the first row. I mean, these guys are incredibly good on the field, but they're so loose and relaxed. Maybe it comes with youth.
I guess so, because starting pitchers never do that. And you're right. It kind of gives you an indication just how loose this team is. They've won 19 in a row, and that guy has done a lot of the damage in this 19-game run. He's having an MVP-type season, 116 RBIs. You made the All-Star team this year for the first time, got a knock in that game. I mean, this is a young, aggressive team that believes in themselves, even when others didn't believe in them.
Well, They do have the odd veteran, and it seems winning follows David Justice around. Wherever he goes, he winds up in the playoffs, whether it's a Yankee, Braves, Indians, and now it looks like the Oakland A's as well. Let's not forget there is another team here in the ballpark tonight, the Kansas City Royals. But another tough year for Kansas City, just 55 and 83. Michael Tucker, the right fielder, will be the leadoff man for the Royals. Carlos Beltran and then Mike Sweeney coming up behind him against Tim Hudson here in the top of the first inning. And we are underway as Hudson misses upstairs, ball one. First pitch at 7:08 Pacific time. Chuck Merriweather calling the balls and strikes tonight. And a swing and a miss. Beautiful changeup there. It's 1-1.
That's what these young A's pitchers do, is they're not afraid to throw their off-speed pitches behind in a count. Fell behind 1-0, came back with a great changeup.
And the 1-1 to Tucker. Swung on and missed as he heats it back up to 91. It's 1-2. Look how loose they are. I mean, oh, to be 25 in a big leaguer, huh? And in first place. Mark Mulder on the right of that shot there. Well, he is showing Tucker everything he's got. Oakland came from behind, overcame a 5-0 deficit on Monday to win 7-6. Miguel Tejada driving in the winning run for the second consecutive game. They're 7-1, the A's are, against the Royals this year. And a swing and a miss. Ramon Hernandez will have to complete the strikeout down at first.
Great changeup. Bottom fell out of it. Nice block by Hernandez. He gets the out at first.
Here's Carlos Beltran, the talented center fielder for the Royals. Having a pretty good season, 21 homers. He's already got 30 stolen bases. That's the pitch down and in, ball one. Up at the top of the order, you look at Beltran and Sweeney and the cleanup hitter Raul Ibanez, who's had a breakout season this year, 95 RBIs. They're pretty good up top. They just don't get much from the bottom part of the order. The bouncing ball out to second, and Beltran has gone 2 down. Again, comparing small market teams, the A's and Royals both fall into that category. Both spend about the same amount of money. Actually, the Royals spend more, but the A's getting a lot more out of their money right now. And boy, for every person that comes into this ballpark, the A's can compete a little bit better. And the crowds have really started picking up here in the last few weeks as this streak has grown. There's Mike Sweeney, battling for a batting title in the American League. Comes in second, just a point back of Bernie Williams of the New York Yankees. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the first inning.
Well, Sweeney's a guy that's impressive when you watch him work. I was here like I normally am early and talking to guys around the cage, and he was headed straight for the cage and to hit some balls off the tee. For a power hitter, he's really a good hitter. He uses the whole field, very aggressive but under control.
And a ground ball to short, 2 bouncer for Tejada. Off balance throw in time, and the inning is over. 3 up and 3 down go the Royals. The A's are coming up when we come back. Brad, thank you very much. Here in Oakland, 1-2-3 went the Royals in the top of the first inning. I don't know if it's an omen. One long streak comes to an end as Team USA is beaten tonight. Does that mean the Oakland A's are in trouble here? Tony Gwynn, 19 in a row. The Royals, as we mentioned, went easily against Tim Hudson in the top of the first inning. The A's are coming up against Paul Byrd, so if they're going to get to 20, they're going to have to beat a very good pitcher.
They are, and they're going to have to earn it because Byrd is Kansas City's best pitcher. He's got 15 wins. He's done a nice job. But the way Oakland's going right now, they don't feel like anybody can shut them down.
One of the reasons that the A's have done so well recently, some of the mid-season pickups, it seems every year Oakland goes out and gets a couple of guys to help them. That's the case again this year, as you can see some of the impressive numbers on the season for Byrd. Ray Durham, though, doesn't care, and he's one of those mid-season pickups. That ball goes to the wall, and it's rattling around out in right center field. Durham's on his way to third, and he's going to be held there. What a way to get it started.
You can feel the electricity in the air here in Oakland. Durham lined this ball into right field. Michael Tucker tried to cut this ball off, and he just skips by him. Then he lost his footing. And Ray Durham, seeing that, of course, he's just going to go as far as he can go.
What a boost he has been in the leadoff spot since coming over in the trade from Chicago. And you know what? He wanted to go home.
He did. And I think when he saw Tucker fall down, he put his head down and was going to go.
Now John Mabry, another guy that was picked up midseason by the A's, and it was the Mabry pickup from Philadelphia in the Jeremy Giambi trade. It really seemed to wake up the Oakland clubhouse. Right about the same time, the A's also sent down 3 players, including Frank Menechino, who had been a regular last year, called up 3 others, and all the A's players said, you know what, we got a bit of a jolt. And ever since then, they have been playing incredible baseball.
Really, it's hard to figure because 3 years in a row, they've kind of done the same thing where the second half of the season, they've just exploded and played great baseball. And so they feel like it, the trade really woke them up.
Now, since late May, which is about when Mabry was acquired, they've been loose and happy. As you can see, you can't get a shot of the club or the dugout rather without seeing some guys laughing. And Art Howe, I mean, he's not a big laugher, but he's so relaxed. He's so even-keeled all the time. And somebody asked him if he was relaxed today. He said, sure, I got Tim Hudson on the mound tonight. Why wouldn't I be relaxed?
I think most managers in Major League Baseball would be relaxed with him on the hill, but you really have to give Art a lot of credit. I mean, when they were struggling, he didn't really hit the panic button, but he demanded that they put forth a better effort. But yet he still lets them play. He lets them go out there and do the things that they can do.
Outstanding numbers, as you saw over the last few weeks for Tim Hudson, who along with Mark Mulder and Barry Zito and now Corey Lytle give the A's probably the deepest rotation in all of baseball. Sneaking in on the corners of the Royals, and that one's lined into center field, a base hit. So the A's are off and running as Mabry drives in Durham to make it 1-0. Fans hoping they're on their way to number 20 as we show you the lineup tonight for the Oakland A's, presented by Jiffy Lube. Durham and Mabry have already done their part. Tejada's the guy with the game-winning hits each of the last couple of days, and let's not forget Eric Chavez, who's one of the best young hitters in all of baseball as well.
It was kind of hard sometimes because Tejada has, the last 2 days especially, the last 2 games especially, gotten a big hit. To kind of forget about Eric Chavez, but what a year he's having too, both offensively and defensively. But look at Miguel's numbers. I mean, it's just been pretty amazing.
And pitch taken just high from Bird. Tejada with a game-winning home run on Sunday, the game-winning single on Monday. 3rd consecutive year that he's had at least 30 homers and at least 100 RBIs. So although he's getting better and better, it's not really like it's a breakout season for Tejada. He's not an overnight sensation. He's been good for a while as he gets hit, which is going to drown out the chant of MVP that we were starting to hear here in the ballpark.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, he's been a good player for the Oakland A's for a long time, and this year he's getting a lot more attention. See his slider just kind of get away from Paul Bird a little bit.
Number 3, Eric Chavez, third base.
So first and second, nobody out. Paul Bird, the all-star, really struggling, giving up a triple, then a single, then hitting a batter. And the A's, for the 16th time in their last 20 games, have scored first. Here is Chavez. Look at his power numbers. Top 10 in the league in homers and RBIs. And a ground ball between third and short into left field, a base hit. Mabry getting the wave as the ball gets through Ibanez. Now Tejada's going to come in to score, and Chavez is on his way to third, and it's 3-0 Oakland.
And that's that whammy we were talking about. They just know somehow, some way they're going to get a break. Chavez, a nice piece of hitting there. And he just misses it. He hits him in the foot. And 2-run score, and Chavez ends up on third. Sees that ball gets by Ibanez out there, and he hustles all the way over to third base.
It's a single and an RBI for Chavez, and another run scores, and he goes to third on the air on Ibanez. And well, the Royals look awful early here. It's already 3-0, and they're forced to bring the infield in as Jermaine Dye comes up. A win tonight for the A's. It would be 20 in a row. That would be a new American League record. And it would give them sole possession of the third longest winning streak in the history of baseball, dating back to the beginning of the modern era, which is 1900. The longest ever by the New York Giants in 1916 when they won 26 in a row. Amazingly enough, they didn't make it to the postseason. In the corner, 1-2 to Dye.
I just can't begin to explain to you how difficult it is to win this many games in a row at the big league level. Quality pitchers, quality closers.
Fly ball right field, twisting away from Tucker and up by him to the wall. Dye on his way to second, and now he's heading for third. And here in the first inning, the rout is on already. It is 4-0 Oakland.
Jermaine Dye with a nice piece of hit. He got a ball out over the plate and just went with it to right field. The Bird getting the ball up. He goes right with it to right field. Michael Tucker gives it a great effort but can't get to it. Once Jermaine Dye hit the corner, looks over, picks up his third base coach, goes sliding into third. Good, aggressive baseball by Oakland.
First triple of the year for Jermaine Dye. Paul Bird still doesn't have an out in this game. There have already been 2 triples and a 2-base error, giving the A's a 4-0 lead. Well, the players aren't the only ones having fun. Now with the runner at third, the Royals again are going to bring the infield in as David Justice comes up. And just in case you were thinking it was only the young guys who were a part of this streak, David Justice is hot, hitting about .360 over the course of this winning streak.
That's what good baseball will do. It's kind of contagious. When one guy gets going, other guys get going. And for this Oakland team, the guys at the bottom of the lineup are starting to hit the ball a whole lot better. And with their starting pitching, that makes them a tough team to beat.
Swing and a miss, and finally there's the first out of the inning as Justice strikes out. It gives us a chance to take a bit of a breather here in the first inning and set the Royals free defensively. We've already seen Ibanez and Tucker involved defensively. Carlos Beltran out in center field. Paul Bird's a guy who needs his defense because he's around the strike zone and the ball gets put in play a lot against him.
Absolutely. He's not overpowering guy, but usually if he gets in trouble, it's early in the first couple of innings, but he needs his defenders. He's trying to locate and put balls in a position where his defenders can really help him.
They're hoping that Bird has a shot to win 20 games, something that a guy with Tim Hudson's ability obviously can do. He's not going to win 20 this year because he had such a slow start to the season. But right about the end of May, when the team turned it around, well, Hudson was one of the reasons because he turned it around at that point as well. And you've just got to think that all of the teams and all the contending teams in baseball, the last team they want to see in October, you've got to believe it's Oakland.
Absolutely.
Mike Ellis the batter with an 0-2 swing and a drive to deep center field. Beltran going back, and he's got it. Good catch there. Tagging at third is Dye. He'll come in to score. And the A's, who overcame a 5-0 deficit to win on Monday, have an early 5-0 lead here tonight.
That's just good baseball. Gets a ball out over the plate, goes with it, and sends Carlos Beltran almost all the way to the warning track. That's a nice running play by Beltran. Makes the catch, knows he doesn't have a play at the plate.
Dye getting congratulations for his triple. 5-0 Oakland, 2 outs, and the batter was Terrence Long, the center fielder. Well, you've just got to imagine the confidence for these A's is just overwhelming. Most of them are too young to know they're mortal. I mean, they're all in their early to mid-20s, it seems. Most of them are signed for a few years. They've got great natural ability, outstanding chemistry, and we all realize that winning helps your chemistry, but I think chemistry helps your winning a little bit, too.
I agree. And I think Billy Beane and Art Howe deserve a lot of credit for putting this team together and getting them to play Oakland A's baseball, which is being selective at the plate, but aggressive, good starting pitching. And even a veteran like Dave Justice has jumped right in the middle of this lineup and done well.
Slash down the left field line, a fair ball into the corner. This unbelievable inning continues for the A's as Terrence Long has a double.
These guys are making it look very easily against one of the best pitchers in the American League, Paul Byrd.
Third extra base hit in the inning already for the A's.
Nice sinker running away. Terrence Long stays behind it nice. Hits it to left field.
So a 2-out double for Long. Already 5 runs in the inning. And here's the catcher and number 9 hitter, Ramon Hernandez. Up and away, ball 1. Paul Byrd is a guy who, more than just about anybody in the American League, goes deep into a ball game. He's got 6 complete games this season. That leads the league. And he is averaging 7 innings per start, one of the best marks in the league. But he may not be around long here tonight. Left-hander Darrell May is up in the pen here in the first inning.
That's an unusual sight with Paul Byrd pitching, having somebody up in the first inning. The thing about it, he just really, other than the ball being up to the first couple of hitters, he's made some pretty good pitches, and Oakland has they've done a nice job offensively, not trying to pull balls, but go with them.
A little bit upstairs. Long going the other way for his double. Dye going the other way for his triple. Chavez lining a base hit to left field.
Mabry hit a ball that was out over the plate. He went right back up the box with it.
Fly ball down the right field line, twisting toward the corner, but out of play. Remember, Paul Byrd comes into this game with 15 wins already. What an ugly line for him so far. The Royals have actually been using off days to skip other starters every now and again to give Byrd as many starts as possible, hoping to get him a chance at 20. He's supposed to have 5 more starts after this one. This ball's driven right center field, headed for the gap. And it's off the base of the wall. In to score is Long. Hernandez into second base, and it is 6-0. Just one big party right now here at the Coliseum.
Once again, ball out over the plate. Didn't try to pull it. Went right with it. Short hops the wall out in right center. The A's have put a 6 spot on the board.
Tony Pena knew there would be days like these as the manager of the Kansas City Royals. The A's only once before this season scored as many as 6 runs in the first inning of a game. It was against Kansas City last week as Ray Durham comes up for the 2nd time in the inning. He got it all started with a triple to right field. When's the last time you heard it this noisy in this ballpark? Swing and a miss, 1-1 in the regular season at least.
It's kind of exciting. It really is to walk into a place and have the fans walking in and excited. When these guys, they got a standing ovation when they came off the field from batting practice. They've bought into it. And the strange thing is they've won 19 in a row, and they're only three games up.
I know.
You got to give credit to the Angels in the way that they've played too. And it's like some of the players we're talking about today. Hey, we're only 3 games up. We got a lot of work to do. So.
I think that has helped keep them a little bit more focused and a little bit more grounded and not get too carried away with themselves, knowing that as well as they're playing, they're only 3 up on Anaheim. And they've got 8 games left with the Angels in the month of September. Fly ball left field. Ibanez going back. And he's got it on the track to end the inning. 6 runs in the first for the A's. It all started innocently enough August the 13th.
Total domination by Corey Lytle tonight.
Tejada wins another ball game. And it's a line drive base hit center field. 19 straight for the Athletics.
Will there be 20? Well, they're off to a pretty good start with a 6-0 lead going to the second inning. If they win tonight, it'll be the American League record for the longest streak ever, 3rd ever since 1900, the modern era of baseball. As Raul Ibanez comes up to lead off the second inning for the Royals. Ibanez, one of the few bright spots in an otherwise bleak season for the Royals, who are 28 games under 500. Kansas City on its way to its 8th consecutive losing season. Tony Pena taking over for Tony Muser early on this season, but the Royals have their work cut out for them. There's a line drive right at the second baseman, Mark Ellis, 1 down. I'll show you the Jiffy Lube lineup for the visiting Kansas City Royals, who come in with a record of 55-83. They lost 7-6 here 2 days ago. We've already seen Tucker, Beltran, Sweeney, and now Ibanez go against Tim Hudson. So on down the line, we'll get a look at D. Brown, one of their bright young prospects, they hope, who has been called up for the minors. Here's Joe Randa, the steady third baseman for Kansas City, hitting .281 on the season. You know, the Royals, like the A's, hope that the new labor deal is going to do them some good. I think everybody thinks it'll do them some good, but it's not going to turn a bad team into a good team overnight or anything like that. Routine, 2-hopper to Tejada at short, 2 down. Now 6 runs given up by Paul Byrd in the bottom of the first inning, and still some activity as we speak in the bullpen in right field. Tony Pena talking things over with Paul Byrd, the starter, and well, I don't know, Tony, you think he's done?
He's probably giving him an option here. 6 runs against a guy like Hudson, it's going to be tough to come back from.
Well, we'll find out soon enough with 2 outs and nobody on here in the Kansas City second. Veteran catcher Brent Mayne comes up, hitting .240 on the season. And a broken bat flare into left field is going to drop in a base hit. And a 2-out single for Brent Mayne.
His bat just shattered. Look at that. It just flew and stuck right into the ground. That's one of those maple bats.
The kind that Bonds uses?
Yeah, and sometimes with maple, you can hit a ball squarely, right exactly where you want to hit it, and have it just explode on you. But that one that's off the end, that's off the cup. Mayne didn't know where it went, but he'll take the base hit.
And a 2-out single for Mayne here in the second inning. And the batter is D. Brown, who is the DH tonight for the Royals. It's a pitch up and away. At AAA this year, Brown hit .277. He also suffered a fractured cheekbone a couple of weeks ago, and you can see he's got some extra protection there on the right side of his helmet. Missed about 10 days, still has some swelling, and he's going to wear that for the rest of the season to protect himself. So it was a minor league ballpark, just not as well lit as a major league park, and he said he never saw the ball.
Take a look at Brent Mayne's bat, what's left of it. Got a nice bit of pine tar working on it too. He's going to have to go and grease up another one. But yeah, with D. Brown, sometimes you get hit. You get hit with a pitch. You know, hitting the game. It's kind of sometimes it's tough to get back in there and regroup. But he's got his protection down. He's feeling a lot more comfortable up there. Really like his setup.
Probably a little bit easier to regroup when they tell you they're calling you up from the minor leagues to the major leagues.
That absolutely helps. And getting a chance to come here to Oakland and try to be a part of a team that ends this streak. Because for Kansas City, this was an opportunity for them. Show people what they got going on there.
Art Howe was talking about that before the game. He said, you know, let's not forget the Kansas City Royals have pride, and just like teams at the bottom love to knock contending teams out of the playoff picture, he knows the Royals would love just as much to end this winning streak.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Even though they're down 6-0, you know, they're not going to quit.
Stings the ball out to short. Tejada flip it on to Ellis, and the inning is over. We're headed to the bottom of the second. The A's are coming up again, already leading 6-0. Wednesday Night Baseball on ESPN2, presented by Jiffy Lube. Well, we're here, you're here to watch the Oakland A's, and what a start they have had tonight, getting 6 runs in the bottom of the first and knocking Paul Byrd right out of this game. Needless to say, the All-Star shortest outing of the season. Left-hander Darrell May, who has split his time this year between the bullpen and the rotation, comes on for the Royals here in the second to face John Mabry, the first baseman, who singled in a run back in the first inning. May spent the last 4 years in Japan, but back in the big leagues this year with Kansas City with mixed results, as you can see. Upstairs, 2-1. John Mabry, you know, he gets traded here and plays better here than he did in Philadelphia. Ray Durham gets traded here and plays better here than he did in Chicago. What's going on?
Sometimes it's the young guys, you know, an enthusiasm for the game again, and obviously.
And a deep drive, right center field. Tucker back. Forget about it. Number 10 for Mabry in an A's uniform, and it is 7-0.
Got a lot of power. He's just a good professional type hitter. Good position, good extension. See that one arm follow through, and you don't really expect anybody to hit a ball that far, but good position, good swing. 7-0 Oakland.
Miguel Tejada is the batter. Ooh, that was just foul. When Tejada was up back in the first inning before he was hit by a pitch, the chant of MVP was echoing around the ballpark. Mabry doesn't get a chance to play against lefties very often, but with the righty Byrd out of the game and the lefty May in, Mabry stayed. And you can probably hear it now. You know what these fans feel about Miguel Tejada.
And there's no question he's had an MVP type season. He's hit the homer. He's driven in the big run. Made the plays defensively. I mean, you know, it basically comes down to 24 riders and what they feel the criteria is, because no matter how you slice it, he fits it. He's on a team that's in first place. He's had a great year. There's going to be some Soriano votes, Rodriguez votes, Giambi votes. And luckily, I think for him, it's a nice thing this streak is happening, because everybody's going to focus in on this team and get a chance to see what he's really done the last 3 years, because he's been this good.
Rips it down the left field line, but he pulls it foul again. Well, but the game-winning home run on Sunday and the game-winning single on Monday kind of reminded me a little bit of Chipper Jones a few years ago when he demolished the Mets in September, and that was when everybody said, wow, this guy's the MVP, and I wonder if the same thing's going to happen for Tejada.
Well, I think he's going to get his share of votes. There's no question. And, you know, his last 2 games, he got the big hit.
Out in front there, and Tejada is gone for the first out of the inning as we send you back to Brian Kenny.
Okay, let's go over to the National League. This one a little closer. Division-leading Cardinals tied up with the Reds. Scott Rowland pinch hitting. First pitch he saw. He rips it out. 7-5. They're in the bottom of the 7th. Cards 4 up on the Astros. Astros underway with the Pods.
We're still waiting for all those St. Louis-Houston games that are coming in the next couple of weeks, just like we're waiting for the Oakland-Anaheim games, the LA-San Francisco games. One of the nice things about playing so many games within your own division is that, for the most part, you finish up the season against teams within your own division, and the schedule will get tougher for the Oakland A's. 8 still to come with Anaheim, 6 still to come with Seattle, 6 to come with Texas, who are pretty good for a last place team, and 3 to come against Minnesota.
I mean, one thing about the schedule is like you said, you're going to bang heads with teams in your division. So if you're going to win the American League West or the National League West, you're going to have to go through the other teams in the division, and whether you're playing teams at the top or teams at the bottom, it's still going to be tough.
Chavez chases down and away, back-to-back strikeouts for Daryl May. Well, if Oakland can keep it up and win their division, you kind of get the feeling the A's and the Yankees are destined to play one another, but maybe not in the first round of the playoffs. Not to knock the Twins or anybody else, but I mean, the way these guys are playing right now, are they the favorites in the American League?
Ooh, I don't. That's a tough one.
You're going to push the Yankees off the pedestal?
I'm not going to do it. I still think the Yankees are one of the best teams in baseball, but there's no question. Having gone through what they've gone through the last 2 years in the playoffs, getting beat the way they have, especially last year, leading 2 games to none, you know, this team is on a mission. And I think it's since the All-Star break, they've been the best team in baseball. They've gone out and pitched well, they've hit well, they've played good defense, they're together, and they've been able to put together this winning streak. They're going to be a tough team. I don't think anybody's going to want to play them right now.
Not only the Angels staying close, but I think you're right. The fact that the A's have not advanced beyond the first round of the playoffs, they love the streak.
Yeah.
And they're on top of the world, and they're confident, and they're having fun. But I think they realize that, you know, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is still to come in October.
Absolutely. I think they realize that. So it's going to be interesting to see, even for the rest of this game, because you get up 7-0 as early as they did, as explosively as they put 6 runs on the board. You know, you have the tendency to kind of lay back now and say, okay, we've scored 7. You know, we can relax a little bit.
Dye skies one down the left field line. Neifi Perez, the shortstop, in the middle there to make the catch and end the inning. The A's, though, add another run to their impressive early lead. John Mabry, his 10th home run of the season, 7-0 Oakland.
ESPN2's Wednesday Night Baseball, presented by Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube, the well-oiled machine. And in part by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold, down, easy.
Neifi Perez leads off the 3rd inning for the Kansas City Royals, who are in a whale of trouble right now, already trailing the A's 7-0. Oakland with 6 in the first, 1 more in the second. Paul Bird out of the game already. And Tim Hudson, in addition to being one of the best pitchers around, he's a tremendous athlete, and he makes a nice place there for the first out. Now, let's send it to Mike Patrick of the Meadowlands.
Here at Giants Stadium, we're getting ready for the start of the NFL season with kickoff weekend, and this city is buzzing about Giants rookie tight end Jeremy Shockey and comparisons to Mark Bavaro. It all starts tomorrow on ESPN with NFL Countdown at 6:30 Eastern, followed by the 49ers and the Giants at 8:30.
And we're looking forward to that, just like we're looking forward to watching the Oakland A's the rest of the way and seeing what their destiny is this year. Luis Ordaz, the second baseman, who comes up for the Royals. Ordaz hitting just .230 on the season. He was released by the Cubs from their AAA team back in June. But again, Kansas City without the wherewithal to go out and throw a lot of money around here and there. They're, you know, trying to pull some guys off the scrap heap, get lucky here and there, like the A's have gotten. The A's have not only made some shrewd trades and developed players very well. There's a slow bouncer down to third. Easy play for Chavez. 2 down. Well, not to overemphasize the point, but it's looking bleak for the Royals right now. Over their long history at this ballpark, when the A's have had a lead of at least 6 runs here in this ballpark, they're 338-2.
Wonder who the 2 were.
I can tell you who the 2 are. Peter Pasquarelli has slid it across the table here. Seattle just last year, and the Kansas City Royals, but that was 24 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet you. There's Paul Splittorff, one of the great pitchers in Kansas City history. Paul Splittorff was the guy on the mound, we're told, in that game in 1978. Boy, they're feeding us information faster than we can handle it tonight. 1-0, the count on Michael Tucker. Struck out in the first inning. I don't think Tim Hudson's going to let this one get away, though.
It's going to be interesting to watch this team, see how they progress tonight, because you can get into it, you can kind of take it easy, you can coast a little bit. And watching the way Hudson's going after Tucker here, he's not coasting it. So I think the strength of this staff is the ability to just go out and throw strikes and make quality pitches.
Down the left field line, and that's a fair ball into the corner. An extra base hit for Michael Tucker, who has himself a 2-out double.
Already in this game, really by both sides, we've seen good hitters hitting good pitches. And this is a sinker down, and Tucker just goes with it the other way and keeps it inside the line, down the left field line, and gets a double.
And that'll bring up Carlos Beltran, the center fielder, who grounded out to second back in the first inning. Been a mainstay with the Royals for the last several years.
It looks like Beltran has really, kind of really agreed with what Tony Pena has been preaching, because since the break he's really started to pick it up. And, these numbers right here are more like the numbers that he had his rookie season.
An impressive 7 for 12 lifetime against Tim Hudson as he takes the fastball inside, ball 2.
And he's still a young guy too,
Yep.
and just is coming into his own. And the Royals need more players like this. They need, because of the payroll problems, your draft is really important, and so trying to draft good players is really going to help.
Well, some of the good players they had, whether they traded for them or drafted them, got away, and you have to look no further than right field, where Jermaine Dye is right now. He's a former Kansas City Royal, but a guy who was traded here. Of course, Johnny Damon was traded here before leaving and going on to Boston.
This game goes in cycles, though, and some of these teams that are down now will turn it around and start to win, just much like the A's, the Twins. The Expos are hanging in there. Some of these teams with a lot of young players, they're going to gain experience and get better because of it.
Look at the movement on that pitch, and it's 2-2.
That's a great pitch right there. Started that ball in. Look at those numbers. 5-0 and a 1.80.
That's his month of August. The scary thing was he wasn't even the best pitcher on this team in August.
I know.
Corey Lytle gave up 1 earned run the whole month.
And we haven't even hardly mentioned his name tonight. He's been just outstanding, too.
Got him. Strikeout number 2 for Tim Hudson, and the inning is over. 7-0 A's going to the bottom of the third.
ESPN2's Wednesday Night Baseball, presented by Jiffy Lube, brought to you by Kia Motors, makers of a full line of quality cars backed by a 10-year warranty program.
Well, they're well on their way to number 20 here tonight with a 7-0 lead on the Royals already. David Justice, one of the few guys who wasn't an active participant back in the 6-run first inning. He struck out against Paul Byrd. Looks like he's going to make up for that, though. A classic Justice swing as he lines one into the right field corner, and he's got himself a leadoff double. Now, this is a guy who has been around the block once or twice with a lot of good baseball teams. Here are David Justice's thoughts on the 19-game winning streak.
I've been a part of some great winning streaks, if you count, grade school, high school, those type of things. But to do what we're doing or what we have done on this level is just amazing.
That's what you said, on this level.
Yeah, at the big league level, I definitely agree. Usually you're seeing quality pitchers every night. You're playing against quality players every night.
Mark Ellis, the batter. Out of foul territory here in this ballpark, but not enough to hold that one. Do you ever recall being part of a 19-game winning streak at any level?
No, not in baseball. Basketball, high school basketball, yeah. But in baseball, there's so many intangibles every day. coming from behind, playing when you're ahead, somebody making a play, somebody getting a big hit. At the big league levels, just I don't think anybody can think about putting a streak together like this.
1-1 the count on Ellis, who's jammed and he fouls it off. Well, it began back on August the 13th here against the Toronto Blue Jays, a 5-4 win. They took the last 2 of a series from Toronto. 3 in a row from the White Sox. 1-4 at Cleveland. 1-3 at Detroit. 1-3 at Kansas City. Took 3 from the Twins, 1 from Kansas City, and now try to finish off this and make it number 20.
A lot of that is on the road, and that's where, to me, it's just hard to fathom winning that many games, going on the road and sweeping a road trip almost, and coming home and just continuing to play good baseball. You look at the Oakland bench, a guy like John Mabry getting big hits. Dave Justice, Durham's come over as good protector.
Ground ball wide of third into left field, a base hit for Ellis. Justice is getting the wave home. The throw from Ibanez bobbled at the plate. The run will score to make it 8-0, and Ellis goes to second on the play.
Just excellent execution by the Oakland A's. Oakland being aggressive. Ellis trying to go to the right side. The first 2 strikes. Gets a pitch he can handle. Base hit to left. Ibanez charges. Short hop throw that's up the line, and Maine can't come up with it. Very aggressive. I mean, they're already up 7-0. They don't have to try to send a runner on a base hit to left field, but they send him anyway, and the run scores. And Ellis, good base running, gets to second base.
Now with that base hit, already every single member of the A's starting lineup has reached base. And every A, with the exception of Miguel Tejada, already has a hit in this game, and it's only the 3rd inning. That's the other thing about this winning streak, Tony. And the A's have won a lot of close games. They've got a remarkable record, 26-9 in 1-run games. But you talked about that road trip. They won games 8-1, 6-0, 9-3, 9-1, 12-3. I mean, they're pounding teams.
They are, and they're. You're right. They're putting runs on the board, and normally, early in the season, the pitching staff kept them in there, kept them in games. Now the offense is giving the pitchers something to work with, and to come right out and put 6 runs on the board in the first inning with a guy like Tim Hudson on the mound, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for whoever they play down the stretch, because you're going to have to be able to match their starters and be able to shut down the offensive guys too.
Look out.
0-2. I think you're just trying to keep him honest, not trying to just let him know, hey, I got to have the inside part of the plate.
Now that's the thing, is as great as things are going on one side of the field, is as frustrating as the entire season has been for the team on the other side of the field. And this is another long night, it looks like, for the Kansas City Royals. Breaking ball outside. With their outburst already here tonight, the A's have now scored at least 6 runs in 16 of their last 17 games. And that was supposed to be their weak spot, right? They lose Giambi, they lose Damon.
Right.
They were going to be a team with great pitching but questionable offense, supposedly. They're a team with great pitching and a great offense right now.
And right now is when you want to have great offense, going into September.
Howe talked about the youth of the team. Somebody asked him before the game, do you think them being young helps them? He goes, yeah, they don't get tired. maybe that's why they play so well in the second half every single year.
See, it's another question, really, because with a game like this, you're up 8-0. And you get to September, and a lot of times you don't get an opportunity to rest guys. Maybe rest at Tejada for a few innings or Chavez. And watching the A's work here in the first 3 innings, they're going to continue to be aggressive. And they're going to put as many runs on the board as they can. And maybe ought to have a chance to rest a Chavez or a Tejada. Or maybe let Hudson work 6 innings and let his bullpen get some work.
First and second, nobody out. A run in already to make it 8-0 as Ramon Hernandez comes up. and drills one deep center field. Beltran back, and he can't make the play. Two runners back-to-back at third base, and two runners heading home, but then Long goes back to third as the throw got into the plate in a hurry. Long was about 3 feet behind Ellis as they headed toward third base, but he pulled up at third. So Hernandez has his second consecutive RBI double, and it is 9-0.
Ball is down. He goes with it. Beltran gives it all he has. Comes up just a little short, but watch the runners. Terrence Long played this perfect. He's going to follow Ellis. Here's Washington waving Ellis, and he stops Long at third. And that's great base running, because even if the ball's caught by Beltran, Long's going to be able to get back to first base, so you walk right up to second base. And even if you want, you can step on it and step over on the third base side a second.
Infield in again for the Royals. Have you, and again, it has a lot to do with winning, but have you ever seen a team laugh more and have more fun than the Oakland A's?
No, I haven't. And I think a lot of that is just because they're young and they're, this is how they think baseball is supposed to be, which is really scary.
I mean, Terrence Long's out there at third base howling with Ron Washington, the coach who put the brakes on him and caused him to slide.
I think that was just great base coaching by Ron Washington, because he waved the first runner, pointed at Long to let him know, no, you stay here. And Long had to slide to stop. But here they are. They got two guys in scoring position again.
2-1 to Ray Durham, who has tripled and scored and flied out. Both of those at-bats coming in the first inning. Again, when they make the moves in the middle of the season, you kind of go, yeah, all right, yeah, maybe he can help. But Durham's done more than that. Mabry has done more than that. Upstairs again, 3-1. The A's started off the year with 3 veteran left-handed relievers, none of whom really panned out, so they picked out Ricardo Rincon, who figures to help. Royals seemingly have had the infield in all night, to no avail.
The infielders aren't getting any work right now.
It's the outfielders getting tired. Swung on, backhanded, bobbled, no play. Durham aboard.
Durham gets a bullet down. I think it kind of fools Randa a little bit. He had some topspin on it. Couldn't find it, but he does the right thing and holds it.
So the bases are loaded with nobody out. Pitching coach John Cumberland to the mound to talk with Darrell May. It has been scored, a base hit for Ray Durham. Still nobody out in the inning and already 2 runs in. Terrence Long still at third base. Ramon Hernandez, who already has 2 doubles in this game, he's at second. There's Ray Durham at first. And here comes John Mabry, who is up again. Singled in a run in the first, led off the second with a home run.
Those are nice numbers, 315, 10, and 41, really in part-time duty.
160 at-bats.
This is a chance to show Art Howe, hey, I can handle left-handers too.
Mabry playing first base tonight for Scott Hatteberg, who gets most of the time there.
There's Thad Bosley demanding that his hitters, hey, be aggressive. Be aggressive, but we want you hitting strikes. And that's pretty much what they've done tonight. They've gone the other way. They've pulled balls. They've been aggressive. Haven't chased anything.
It's got the atmosphere of a carnival here in this ballpark tonight.
It does. It does. And Mr. May's going to have to eat some innings here, because there's nobody up in the bullpen.
And there was one of these games on, was it Sunday night? Monday night. Monday night, the Diamondbacks against the Dodgers, when the Dodgers beat them 19-1. And the Darrell May for Arizona was left-hander Eddie Oropesa, who had to stay out there and give up 10 runs in an inning and 2/3. And the Dodgers had a night just like the A's are having now. Everything they hit hard. dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tony Peña's got another reliever up in the pen right now, right-hander Blake Stein. The Royals have not called up their September players yet. They're going to wait till they get home on Friday before doing that. So they're still playing with, by September standards, a small roster.
I hope there's good players for Kansas City. I hope they're in the playoffs. Maybe that's waiting until you get home.
Yeah. It's got a little circus feel, a little carnival feel, a little soccer game feel here tonight. Swung on the ground ball down to first. They're coming home for the force at the plate, and out at the plate is Terrence Long.
Gutsy decision there by Sweeney coming to the plate. But it was in time. He could have ran to the bag and kind of conceded the run. He's playing back. When he gets a 2-hopper, decides he's going to come home with it, makes an accurate throw to the plate, and gets the speedy Terrence Long.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt who the fan favorite is right now, huh?
And if you're a hitter, you got to love hitting in this situation. Bases loaded, 1 out. Right-hand hitter facing a left-handed pitcher. Everybody screaming your name, MVP. And let's face it, this is a chance to pad those numbers. Those numbers are good enough already as they are. This is where he's delivered here in this last run of his.
Only Alex Rodriguez has more RBIs, 5 more. A-Rod with 121, Tejada with 116. There's the chant again. Saying what has taken Tejada to a new level, his ability to lay off the bad pitches, so he makes sure he gets some good pitches. This was the game-winning home run off Eddie Guardado on Sunday that extended the winning streak to 18. And then on Monday, the base hit up the middle off Jason Grimsley, another game winner to extend the winning streak to 19.
The last hit was against a 5-man infield. He hit it so hard.
Yep.
The guy in the middle didn't even have a chance to make a play.
High fly ball pulled down the left field line. Ibanez over. He's got room to make the catch, and the throw comes in and goes way into foul territory to the backstop. But Hernandez, the base runner, who is a catcher, and maybe with a 9-0 lead, the A's don't want to rub anything in here against the Royals, so they miss out on a chance to add another run.
I think Hernandez was a little bit upset because I think he really wanted to go. And if Randa could have cut that ball off, he might have been able to make a tag there. But and what it does, it costs Tejada an AB. It costs him an RBI.
And all his teammates want to get him RBIs to help him out in the MVP race.
Absolutely, they want to see their guy win the MVP.
So the batter is Chavez. Bases loaded at 2 outs now. 9-0 Oakland. Chavez with an RBI single in the first. He struck out in the second. Now the big change for Tejada appeared to come about the time that he was moved to third in the lineup, with Chavez hitting behind him. That's when Tejada really took off. A lot of things happened at the same time. The Jeremy Giambi trade, a series of players getting called up and sent down. There's a liner over the head of Ordaz into right field. A base hit, and 2 runs will score to make it 11-0.
I know I sound like a broken record tonight, but pretty good pitch by May. Down in the zone. Chavez just a little out in front, just kind of flips it into right field. And that happens sometimes when your hands you're taking the right path. Sometimes you can do that to a ball. It's not textbook, but he'll take the base hit, and take the 2 ribbons.
Sure will. That gives him 100 on the season. There's Jermaine Dye to look at a strike. So Tejada is second in the league in RBIs with 116. Chavez is seventh in the league with 100.
Those are two pretty young players to be putting up those kind of numbers. You're Oakland fans, you know your guys. These two guys are going to be around for a long time. You know your pitching staff's going to be around for a long time. They're all locked up, and I believe Tejada will be the next one in line.
Exactly. He is a free agent at the end of next season. Foul ball racing out. Sweeney deep down the line, can't make a play. Well, the A's already have Chavez and Mulder and Hudson and Zito and Hong and Dye and Hernandez all signed for through at least 2004. But Tejada's the big one. He's a free agent after next year, and he has just sent his value off the charts this season.
And see, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for General Manager Billy B. Because you know you don't have a whole, you can't break the bank. But you definitely like to lock him up and take care of him and know that he's going to be here for 4 or 5 years.
2-2 the count on Dye.
Sometimes you need your teammates to sell that, help sell that for you. You know, all these other guys are locked up. I mean, to me, there's your MVP candidates. Numbers, I mean, A-Rod's 48 homers stand out.
But the RBIs are almost identical.
Almost identical. You can't knock the contributions that Tejada's made for the A's, Soriano for the Yankees, Giambi for the Yankees.
Swing and a miss. Dye is gone, and the inning is finally over, but it's another big one for the A's. 4 more runs. 2 of them driven in by Chavez, and it's 11-0 Oakland. Well, it seems like it's pretty much a fait accompli at this point that the Oakland A's are going to set a new American League record with their 20th consecutive win. Who knows when or if they will ever lose again. They've got an 11-0 lead on the Royals. I don't think we're going to need a rally monkey here tonight.
Kansas City hopes were wrong, but Hudson's been sharp, working both halves. Their offense has been unbelievable. 12 hits in 3 innings.
Mike Sweeney comes up and he looks at a strike. Sweeney missed about a month earlier this season with injuries, but still has enough plate appearances to qualify for the batting title. And I guess other than Ibanez breaking out this year, the best news for Kansas City fans this season, and it happened way back at the end of spring, is that they signed Sweeney to a long-term deal, which obviously is of great concern, just like Giambi here last year. But Sweeney's the guy that the Royals had to keep.
He's been really productive for them the last 3 years, and finds himself in a dogfight really for the American League batting title. Bernie Williams, himself, and Ichiro. He came into the game being a point behind. He's 0 for 1, so he's at 339. But he's in a situation he's got to swing the bat. He's going to get an opportunity to.
2-1 the count on Sweeney. Interesting clause in his contract, though, Tony, and it's a sign of the times. If the Royals finish below 500 in both of the next 2 seasons, he can get out of the deal. So it's in their best interest to get better, just to keep him. Grounded foul, 2-2.
I think for a lot of players, that's just protection for him in case. I think he likes Kansas City. I think he's happy being there. And when you sign a long-term deal, you're going to be there for a while. And just here recently, these different type of clauses have come up in contracts, and it just gives them an out just in case something should happen.
Pop up for the second baseman, Ellis. Hudson making it look easy so far. 1 down as we send you back to Brian Kemp.
Dan, let's go to the NL Central. Start of the day, Astros 4 back behind the Cardinals, and here Ron Gant crunches this ball with a 1-0 lead. Solo shot. It's the 17th of the year, 2-0 in the top of the 6th. It was 5-0 Reds. Now it's 10-5 Cards. They're in the top of the 9th. By the way, Tony, Bernie 0 for 3, hitting .340 now.
All right, Mike Sweeney here 0 for 2, so Bernie's probably still got just a tiny lead over Mike Sweeney. Gets off the American League batting race. Here's Ibanez, who lined out his first time up. Well, you keep waiting for the Astros to make some kind of a move, and they just can't get it.
They had that real hot streak there where they went from 9, 10 games back to being right there in the thick of it, and you think, okay, they're there now. Now they're going to push it over the top, but they just haven't been able to get there.
Again, still 7 games remaining between St. Louis and Houston here in the regular season. 0-2 to Ibanez, down and away.
And you touched on it earlier. Ibanez has just kind of come out of nowhere and had just a super year for Kansas City. He really has established himself.
Middle of May, he's hitting under 200. Now he's up over 280, and he's going to drive in 100 runs this year, which would be almost as many as he had in his entire big league career coming into this season.
You know, for sometimes, even for a guy like Ibanez, just getting consistent at bats can make all the difference in the world. Knowing you're going to be in the lineup every day.
Takes it low, full count. Well, lost in the shuffle of some of the races or the seasons that a player like Ibanez in Kansas City, Mike Williams in Pittsburgh, who did go to the All-Star game, but what a season he's had. Tomo Oka in Montreal has won 13 games and pitched extraordinarily well. And there's some great stories even on some of the teams that are way out of it. Lined into center field. It'll drop in a base hit in front of Long. A 1-out single for Ibanez. Back to Brian Kenny.
Hey, Dan, let's go to the National League now. Colorado and San Francisco as the Giants in the wild card hunt. Benito Santiago out to right field. Jeff Kent on third. We got a play to the plate. Larry Walker the throw. Kent like he's flipping over a motorcycle. No, he's back in. He was all right, by the way. 1-0 in the fourth.
Well, realistically, the Giants really setting their sights on the Dodgers, although they've got a big series coming up with the Diamondbacks, and the Dodgers and Giants still have 7 games left against one another. Joe Randa, the batter. For the most part, it's the Western divisions where most of the action is going to be in the month of September.
Sure looks like it. This American League West race really has been amazing. I mean, Seattle was on top for a long time. Anaheim took the lead for a little bit. Now Oakland's gone in front.
Ground ball base hit into left field for Randa. Ibanez up to second on the play. Now, speaking of the Giants, you'll get a chance to see them at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, Friday night on ESPN as they host the defending world champion Arizona Diamondbacks. Scheduled starters Miguel Batista and Kurt Reeder. Some markets will see Houston at Los Angeles. The Giants took 2 out of 3 in a weekend series in Phoenix from the Diamondbacks, and the only game the Diamondbacks won, they had to come back in the late innings and win it in the bottom of the ninth. Arizona struggling a little bit the last week and a half, although they did pick up a big win over Los Angeles tonight behind Randy Johnson. Strike taken by Brent Mayne.
It's hard to imagine Arizona struggling the way Schilling and Johnson have pitched this year, but they've hit a lull here and gave these other teams some life. LA, San Francisco have gone in both in one series from them.
Goes down to get a ground ball to second. Ellis, and Tejada drops it, and everybody is safe. Assuming the error is on Tejada there, that would be his 19th of the season.
Designated hitter.
Looks like a tailor-made double play. Flip was okay, really. It was a long flip, but it's in good position. And Tejada just kind of closed his glove before the ball got there.
Maybe thinking 2 before he got 1. So that's his 19th error of the season. The bases are loaded with 1 out for the designated hitter D. Brown. And a swing and a line drive into right field. A base hit in front of Dye. This is going to bring 2 runs home. Brown's going to stop at first. Mayne around to third. Ibanez and Aranda score, and it's 11-2.
D. Brown wasn't going to wait around this time. He got a pitch to hit. Pulled it into right field. Knocked himself in 2 runs. No stride. Just bring the knob of the bat through.
First hit and RBIs with the big club this year for D. Brown.
The batter,
And the Royals are on the board now, trailing 11-2. First and third one out. Neifi Perez coming up.
I'm sure John Mabry was over there at first telling D. Brown that it's not that easy, son. You got
not against this staff. Hudson looking for his 13th win of the season. Now smoked up the middle into center field. A base hit for Perez. Maine will score. Brown stops at second, and it's 11-3.
just like that. Kansas City's put 3 runs on the board, and they put them on the board pretty aggressively, swinging at the first pitch, getting a pitch early in the count. This is that fastball that's up and out over the plate. It's right back where it came from.
Probably a good idea there by Hudson. Looked like he was going to try with the bare hand, but then he dropped his arm and tried to make a swipe catch with his glove hand. Just want to keep him healthy now and stay on top in the AL West. 3 games up on the Angels. Luis Ordaz is the batter. From the stretch, Hudson works, and the pitch is up and into Ordaz. Hudson's kind of an interesting story in how he got to where he is. Again, he's not a big guy. He's about 6 foot, 170 pounds. When he came out of high school, he was undrafted. Wasn't big, didn't throw that hard. Went to a junior college for a couple of years and then wound up at Auburn, where he was not only an outstanding pitcher, but a great hitter as well. Went 15-2 as a pitcher and hit almost 400 as a center fielder.
That's impressive. In a tough conference too, the SEC.
Well, you got guys like Darren Dreiford, who great as a pitcher and hitter. John Olerud, Todd Helton. There's a strike, 2-1. Kind of get the feeling that he made, or the A's made, the right career choice on his behalf by telling him to pitch in the big leagues.
You know, but see, if you're a pitcher and you've had success hitting, you always believe you can hit. So whether you get the opportunity or not, you know, he's gonna believe he can hit, and you know what, he probably can, because the thing about this A's staff is that they're athletic. Not only are they play for the athletics, but they're very athletic, and they field their positions well. They can swing the bat a little bit. They can run a little bit. Hudson's he's run into some trouble here in the 4th inning. He's been pretty sharp tonight.
He's got more wins the last 3 seasons than any pitcher in the American League. 50. Next closest is Mulder, his teammate, with 46. The 3-1 to Ordaz. Swung on and popped into shallow center field. A play for Terrence Long. 2 down. And that's one difference when you look at the staffs right now of the 3 division leaders. Minnesota, although they don't have an old staff, they've had Mays on the DL, Radke on the DL, Milton on the DL. The Yankees, in part because of age, you would think, a little bit of Clemens here, a little Pettit there, a little El Duque, a little Wells. None of them have been completely healthy this year. But these guys are healthy, these Oakland starters.
So are their pitching numbers. They're healthy too. I mean,
just a little bit low to Tucker, ball 1. And starting pitching is bigger reason as any that the A's have won 19 consecutive games. Look at that starting staff ERA over the course of the streak.
We mentioned the big 3, but don't forget Corey Lido in that too. He's been unbelievable.
Tucker goes the other way again, and he's got another hit, and another run will score. And now Perez hits third, and he's getting the wave home, and he's going to come in to score. So Tucker doubles in a couple, and the Kansas City Royals have scored 5 runs here in the 4th inning off Tim Hudson.
See, if you're Tony Pena, you got to love this. Even though your team falls behind 11-0 in the 3rd inning, they don't quit. They keep pecking away. And in a game, especially this early in the game, you can peck away. They put a nice 5 spot here in the 4th, and that gets them within 6. Michael Tucker, 2nd AB in a row, didn't try to pull it, hits it the other way. And this ball got into the corner. Dave Justice tried to cut it off right there. Couldn't get to it. Fell down. And him falling down. Allowed, I think this is Neffy Perez to score. Tucker thought about going to third. Had to hit the brakes. He tried to cut that ball off and he couldn't. Falls down. Plastic bottom shoes slipping over there on the.
All kinds of trouble for Justice. The error by Miguel Tejada, remember, this inning has led in part to this 5-run uprising by the Royals. And even on Monday, when Tejada had the game-winning single, the A's were down early 5-0 because an error by Tejada led to 3 unearned runs. 11-5, Oakland leads. Carlos Beltran is the batter. This is the error here. He should definitely have had 1, and if he catches it, Tony, he might have had 2.
I think he turns 2 if he catches it, and for whatever reason, kind of closed his glove before the ball got there. And you can bet he's standing there thinking about, hey, this inning is my fault. I made the error that opened the door.
Whoops. No balls, 2 strikes. The count on Beltran as Hernandez loses the mask.
That's got to hurt. I know there's a mask there, but for protection, but that jolt still has got to smart a little bit. And Hernandez
looks fine.
Looks fine. No big deal.
Shrug it off.
Hey, that's what they paid me for.
Yep. And now the crowd getting back into it with an 0-2 count on Carlos Beltran. And he got him. Good pitch there by Hudson to end the inning. But Kansas City's on the board in a big way, scoring 5 off Hudson here in the 4th inning.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break and go racing.
Well, it was a rout. Now it just has the makings of a wild one here tonight. 11-5, Oakland leads in the bottom of the 4th inning, trying to extend their winning streak to 20, which would be a new American League record. And would give them sole possession of the 3rd longest winning streak in the modern era of baseball, dating back to 1900. David Justice leads off the 4th. He struck out in the 1st, doubled and scored in the 3rd. We mentioned Miguel Tejada, the only A without a hit tonight. It was also his error that led to 3 unearned runs in the top of the 4th innings. Justice with a fly ball, really a pop-up into shallow right center field, and back goes Ordaz for the first out as we send you back to Brian Kenny.
Well, Dan, things looking good for the Cardinals. First, we'll start things off with Houston and San Diego. This is Sean Burroughs. Remember him? Would-be phenom. Preseason Rookie of the Year, many thought, the National League. First RBI since being called up in September call-up. It's 3-0 Padres, and it's a final. Cardinals take the Reds 10-5. Tino Martinez and Albert Pujols both 3 for 4. 6 scoreless innings from the bullpen there, Dan.
Well, Brian, I think Albert Pujols, another guy who's going to get MVP consideration over in the National League.
Absolutely.
Mark Ellis the batter, although again, you look at Barry Bonds' numbers, and unlike Alex Rodriguez, Barry Bonds is at least playing on a contending team. Whether they make it, who knows, but Pujols will certainly get some votes.
I think it's going to be interesting to see in both leagues. You know, Bonds is having the best year, I think, but not winning, his team, at least at this point, not winning, I think that's going to be a factor. I think that's going to be the biggest factor.
Mark Ellis pulls it foul, a ball and 2 strikes.
It's going to be the biggest factor in the American League is the fact that other than A-Rod, all the rest of the candidates are in the thick of things.
Yep.
Tejada's not having one of those nights so far tonight. There's no denying what he's doing.
Ellis pops it up at a right center. Beltran there along with Tucker. Beltran makes the catch for the 2nd out. Now the 2002 NFL season kicks off tomorrow night on ESPN. Coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern as Coors Light presents a special edition of NFL Countdown. Then at 8:30 p.m. it's the 49ers against the Giants. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for prime time football. Less than 24 hours away. Terrence Long the batter, and he sends one foul left side. 0-1 the count on Terrence Long, who has doubled and walked. We'll all get another look at these Oakland A's Sunday night. Again here on ESPN2, part of Sunday Night Baseball. They'll be up at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Art House A's taking on the Twins. One of the teams they swept during this 19-game winning streak. There it is. Now the tie. We should talk about the tie at some point in that Giant streak. The 26-game winning streak for the Giants back in 1916 remarkably was all at home, Tony. Did you know that?
At home.
They had a 30-game homestand. You think the scheduling is goofy now?
Yeah.
It was all at home, and again, they didn't even make the playoffs that year. You had to win your league outright. You had to be right on top. But the tie was in the second game of the doubleheader. After 14 innings, it was rained out, tied at 1, so the stats held up, but the game technically, officially goes as a tie. I don't know that that detracts from the streak. Ground ball back to the mound, and a nice play by May. Bad throw, but they make the play over at first, and the inning is over as the A's go 1-2-3.
The NFL season begins tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern Time with NFL Countdown. You see our crew there, Paul McGuire, Joe Theismann, Susie Colbert. They're talking to Terrell Owens. It'll be the Giants and the 49ers, 8:30 Eastern tomorrow evening. You know, Dan and Tony have those sort of meetings all the time.
Of course, a little bit earlier.
Oh, yeah.
That's the head where we were at our meetings here for Wednesday Night Baseball, at least in Oakland. 11-5, the A's lead in front of a crowd. Get this. 55,528, the largest regular season crowd in Coliseum history. So they're noticing the A's out here. Now Wednesday nights they do have a promotion. There's some of the tickets, thousands of them, the ones up in the top level, are available for just $1. So that helps, and that's one of the reasons why more than 20,000 of the tickets sold today were walk-up.
Yeah.
How about that?
We were talking about that out there on the field today during batting practice.
Sweeney grounds one foul. I mean, there aren't too many empty seats, just way up in the upper deck. Way up in the upper deck.
They call that section up there Mount Davis. I mean, it's a tough seat. Tough to see the action from way up there, but the man's got his broomsticks up there. He's letting the world know, hey, we're going for the sweep.
Jams him, a little flare into shallow left center field. Look out, boy, they got a case of the yips between the two of them out there. Justice and Long may have heard footsteps, and that ball drops in.
The high little pop-up. Justice thought Long was going to call it, and Long thought Justice was going to call it. It falls in. You see Justice looking over at Long. Now going to try to come back and make the play. Couldn't do it. And really, the center fielder is the guy who's got to take charge out there on this ball. Terrence Long has done that for most of the year.
So the leadoff man is aboard for the Royals. Remember, they got 5 runs in the 4th inning. 3 of them unearned on the Tejada error. A little sloppy D here allows Sweeney to reach leading off the 5th. And here is Ibanez, who singled and scored his last time up.
And of course, Sweeney's going to take that base hit. He's trying to compete for a batting title. But as electric as this place was in the first couple of innings, all of a sudden, I think people started to realize, hey, we might have a ball game now.
Now they've overcome deficits. They've won in every imaginable way. They're not going to end the streak in a game in which they led 11-0, are they? I mean,
if Kansas City has something to say about it, they would love for that to happen.
Remember, we said off the top, USA lost to Argentina tonight, so maybe it's a night where long streaks and unthinkable things. Streaks come to an end, and the unthinkable actually happens. 1-2, the count on Ibanez.
Well, I think it's like we talked about earlier. I think Tony Peña's just really happy to see his club not quit. It would be easy being down 11-0 to just say, hey, we're going to pack this one in, but they're not doing that. They're battling. And throw a 5 spot in the 4th inning and then come back and get a 1-2-3 inning, which they hadn't had.
Against one of the better starting pitchers in baseball.
Ibanez is up there battling, and we talked about this his last at bat. Just getting the chance to be in the lineup every day and getting some at bats every day, having somebody believe in you. He's really come a long way this year.
As many players do. He did a number on his former team too, the Seattle Mariners, when the Royals played the Mariners this season. Really hit them well.
I've never been traded, but I've seen that happen an awful lot.
Ooh, he got him. Hudson strikes him out for the first out of the inning. Trying to extend that winning streak to 20. Here is Oakland closer Billy Koch on what it would mean to set a new American League record.
It'd be nice to have a record under our belt. I mean, I don't think anybody really wants to tie a record, and I think we're going out there and in the hopes to win. I mean, I think it's really cool. I mean, it's a thing that we can strive for now. I mean, you start winning, you win 6, 7, 8 in a row. You're not thinking down the road this far, and I think we think about it, before the game, on our way to the ballpark, and then as soon as we get here, it's like as soon as we take the field, it's just like, hey, let's just go out there and play and have fun. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Everybody's having a lot of fun out there.
And it shows. Koch has been involved in the last 4 games before the off day yesterday. He had 2 saves and 2 wins.
And the last couple, they had to pick him up.
Yeah.
Where he'd been shutting the door for everybody else. He gave up the home run on Sunday. Then Tejada hit the 3-run homer to win that one. Then he got in trouble the next day on Monday and coaxed a ground ball double play to get out of that inning. And so it's been a total team effort on this Oakland side.
Koch can be lights out sometimes. He can be a bit of a wild ride sometimes. Art Howe was asked before the game, did Billy Koch need the off day yesterday? And Howe said, not as much as I needed the day off from watching him pitch yesterday. But then he went on to say, hey, the guy's been incredible.
Yeah.
He's had a great year this year.
And like I said, it's been a team effort on the Oakland A's part. Everybody contributing, everybody doing their share.
Right on the corner, 2-2 to Randa.
And of course, every game can't be a cakewalk game where everybody can breathe easy and relax. I'm sure there was some 1-run games in there where you had to really battle and sweat it out, but nobody can take it away from them. Here they are. They've won 19 games in a row.
You can say they've played sub 500 teams, or they've done this or done that. They've done something nobody's done in 50 years. With a soft fly ball, shallow left field, and this ball's going to drop in. And Sweeney read it well off the bat as he slides into third.
I mean, there were a couple of great plays right there that you just really have to see, because Sweeney read that ball right off the bat, and he was going first to third as soon as the ball was hit. But the pick that Eric Chavez just made at third base on the throw by David Justice. Well, Justice comes in, gets this ball on the second hop. Sweeney's read it right from the bat, and look at a pick by Eric Chavez right. What a great pick. That ball was right on top of him, and he just picked it like it was nothing.
First and third for the Royals. This is going to get awfully interesting if they can scratch out a couple more here this inning. Brent Mayne is the batter, and he's 1 for 2. No sign of any activity in the Oakland pen, and again, this is worse than it should be for Hudson, given the Tejada error last inning.
What's happening here? The Royals are starting to get some confidence now.
Didn't go. Well, and showing that pride that we talked about a little bit earlier.
Well, nothing would do their soul any better than to come back from 11-0 deficit and find a way to win this game. Did he go? Umpire says no.
Ground ball to the right side. Ellis to Tejada for 1. On to first, the double play that ends the inning. That's the way to do it. No runs, 2 hits to the man left. Oakland by 6 going to the bottom of the 5th. ESPN2 Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Jiffy Lube. A packed house here at Network Associates Coliseum, better than 55,000. They were delirious early with an 11-0 lead. They're a little bit nervous right now as the Royals got 5 in the 4th. A nice 4-6-3 double play turned by the A's to end the top of the 5th. So the A's still with a 6-run lead as they try to run their winning streak to 20. Ramon Hernandez coming up against Daryl May here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Hernandez, 2 at-bats, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. Kind of an unheralded part of this Oakland team, but as much of an everyday catcher as there is in baseball, this guy's in the lineup a lot.
He's really been productive tonight with 2 doubles going the other way. And he's the guy in charge of keeping the pitching staff in order.
2 balls and a strike on Hernandez. Back to the top of the order for Durham and Mabry after him. May got the A's 1-2-3. In the bottom of the 4th inning. This is down an in ball 3.
I was going to say his last inning was sharp. He was 1-2-3, and now after not scoring in the top half of the inning, the last thing you want to do is give them an opportunity.
Up the middle, backhanded by Ordaz. Long throw. Did Sweeney get it clean? He did. And Hernandez is retired, 1 down.
Nice play all the way around. Ordaz goes a long way up the middle to get it. Sweeney with a nice pick. That's a play where you see a lot of second basemen turn and jump and throw. I think he knew Hernandez doesn't run that well, and he just made a nice throw over there. Sweeney with a nice pick at first.
Ray Durham comes up, takes a slow breaking ball in there for a strike. Durham 2 for 3 tonight. He has tripled and singled. Remember how he fits into the clubhouse. He's a little bit older, and whereas it's a bit of a frat house in there, Durham's more of an intense individual, I think, than most of the A's, at least on the surface. But he has given them something they needed, a leadoff hitter. Came over and he said, you know, I'm not so sure about DHing. I'm a second baseman. And he wasn't sure about hitting leadoff. There was even talk about trying him in the outfield, but he has DH'd and led off and done what Art Howe has asked him to do. And I guess when you're winning, you know, you'll do what the manager asks.
Oh, absolutely.
And you'll deal with it. It won't bother you quite as much.
Oh, yeah. You know, you win 19 in a row. You know, if he asked you to go out and play defense for 1/2 an inning, you're going to want to do it.
You don't want to be the guy who's rocking the boat on a 19-game winning streak.
That's right.
Swing and a miss, and Durham is gone, 2 down.
Well, on the other hand, I think you got to give Art Howe a lot of credit too, because Ray Durham's an everyday guy, and he wants him in there every day. And whether it's playing second or DHing or playing the outfield, you see Oakland, he's turning it up a notch after the 23rd. I mean, 67 and 25. ERA drops a whole point. Runs almost a whole run a game better.
John Mabry, the batter. May the 22nd, the day before that great run for the A's began, was the day they picked up John Mabry in the trade for Jeremy Giambi. And again, that's not the only thing they did. They moved Tejada to the 3 spot. They sent down Carlos Pena and Frank Menechino, which was a surprise within that clubhouse, and Jeff Tam. Mabry came over and started hitting for power right away. He's already got a home run here tonight. His 10th as a member of the A's as a part-time player. And it looks like while the A's have retained that good-natured clubhouse atmosphere that they've always had, that on May the 22nd or 23rd, when they really shook up the team, they could open some eyes on this Oakland team that Art Howe and Billy Beane meant business.
Absolutely.
Ground ball to the right side. Sweeney to May covering, and that's the inning. 7 in a row set down by Daryl May, and we're through 5. Still 11-5 Oakland. Back for the top of the 6th inning here in Oakland, where for the last inning and a half or so, things have calmed down a lot. It's still 11-5 Oakland as the A's look for their 20th consecutive win. Tim Hudson facing D. Brown. Brown had a big 2-run single back in the 4th inning. Overall 1 for 2. By the way, between innings, on the video scoreboard out in left field, they were showing highlights from some of the out-of-town games that have been played tonight, including Jason Giambi's home run against the Boston Red Sox. And when they showed that, they booed here in Oakland.
55,000 people booing.
Still upset that he left and went to the New York Yankees. And wouldn't the fans here love to get another shot of the Yankees in the playoffs? Everybody remembers how close they were to knocking out the Yankees just last year. And even though the big slugger here is now there, I think there's just overwhelming confidence in this town that the A's would go in there with at least a 50-50 chance of winning the series.
A lot of people here in Oakland feel like they were a slide away from getting to the next round. Went for a great play by Derek Jeter, that's exactly where they would have gotten to. And now, a year later, a lot of people feel like this is going to be the team to beat. And then is trying to shake off that pitch. And he got it in the hand, but that's an 81 pitches here. Went into the 6th inning. That's a good number, but he racked up a lot of pitches in the inning that they put the 5 runs on the board on the error by Tejada.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Brown. He'll be followed by Nefi Perez and then Luis Ordaz, the bottom third of the Royal lineup. Nefi came up with a big RBI single last time up as well. Chased it in the dirt. No chance there. Strikeout number 5 for Hudson.
That's why you like Hudson, because he isn't afraid. He worked both halves of the plate. Looks like a split. He starts it in, and if you're a left-handed hitter, he'll start that fastball in at you and run it back over the inside part of the plate. D. Brown hadn't faced him at all, and so sometimes you have to learn on the fly. And
nice bunt there by Perez. Chavez moving quickly. Got him!
Again, there's that communication, letting him know he made a great play. Nefi with a perfect bunt. He put it right where he wanted to put it. Chavez cut it off. Had a little trouble getting rid of it, but he got him.
Gold Glove Award winner last season, Eric Chavez. Boy, that is bang bang at first base. Two outs in the inning, nobody on. And the batter will be Luis Ordaz.
I'll tell you what, that Chavez has become a heck of a player. And he's only 24 years old. Like a lot of these young guys, they've had experience. They've played at the big league level and gotten a chance to learn the ropes.
And the other thing that Oakland did, because they know they've got to keep churning players out of that system.
Right.
The free agents they lost last year, Damon, Giambi, they stockpiled all kinds of extra draft picks. So here comes the next wave.
And see, to me, that's the way to do it, I think. You know, in this environment of high payrolls and, you know, nobody wants to be at that point, especially for the smaller market teams. You can't survive on a $50, $60 million payroll. And so, you know, you got to draft wisely. You got to spend a little extra money on your draft, because those are the people who are going to take the places of those people who end up going somewhere else.
Ground ball to short. Tejada to his left. Inning over. 1-2-3 go the Royals. Eric Chavez with a good D, and we'll see him up second when we come back.
Brian Kenny here in the studio. Dodgers losing already today, so San Francisco a chance to get within a game and a half at first, but Larry Walker driving in a run puts the Rockies up on top 2-1 in the 6th inning. Houston, they can pick up ground too, but Brett Tomko, 7 innings of shutout baseball so far. It's 5-0 in the top of the 8th. Dan, Tony?
Boy, the Astros starting to run out of time with St. Louis winning earlier tonight. Here, Oakland try to extend that winning streak to 20. Got an 11-5 lead on the Royals, bottom of the 6th inning. And Miguel Tejada pops up the first pitch right out in front of the mound, and May's going to handle it himself. That is 8 in a row set down by May, and Tejada is now 0 for 3, officially having a frustrating night, having committed the error as well earlier.
You don't see this in the big league game very often. The pitcher making a catch on a pop-up, but Tejada got jammed with that ball, and it wasn't enough time for either the first baseman or the third baseman to get in there and make the play. And so May made it himself.
Eric Chavez, the batter. I mean, he is a big league ball player. Should be able to catch a pop-up.
You should, but if you go to spring training and they do the pop-up drill, the pitcher's job is to yell out who's going to make the play. He doesn't want any part of it.
Good night for Chavez. We saw the good defense last half inning. He's also got a couple of hits and 3 RBIs tonight, giving him 100 on the season.
Really like his game. He's the complete package. As soon as he gets a little bit more patient at the plate, I mean, he's going to really put big numbers up.
Laying off that pitch right
and
there.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, he struck out earlier tonight on a ball that was on a breaking ball that was running away from him, and you see him shaking his head. He knows what's going on, and you just need to be selective. Just as Thad Bosley talks about, swinging strikes.
Swung at another pitch that wasn't a strike, and Chavez is gone. That's 5 strikeouts for Darrell May, who's done a really nice job the last couple of innings.
He really has. This is a fastball up and in, and after seeing a steady diet of breaking balls, kind of pulled off on that, and he just followed through with the swing. So that's one of those you just kind of just shake it off and get him the next time.
9 in a row set down by May as Jermaine Dye comes up. Dye with a triple and an RBI in the first inning, 1 for 3 overall. It says a lot for how good this team is that as Blake Stein now warming up in the Royals pen. He's been up for a few minutes, so should be ready if needed. But Dye, not that he's an afterthought, but nobody's talking about Jermaine Dye at all.
No.
This guy's a really good player.
You know, talks about Dye, you know, talk about Justice that much. Terrence Long. You know, usually you hear about the A's, you hear about the big 3, Mulder, Zito, Hudson. You hear about Tejada here, a whole lot more here lately, and Chavez.
Well, how about Darrell May? Let's hear about him a little bit. 10 in a row set down by the left-hander. On to the 7th. ESPN2 Wednesday Night Baseball, presented by Jiffy Lube. Well, the rout was on early in this one. The A's with 6 in the first. As you can see, they led 11-0 after 3. Big inning for Kansas City in the 4th, and then nothing but zeros since from Tim Hudson and Darrell May. It's on to the 7th inning now in front of a crowd of better than 55,000 here in Oakland. A 6-run lead for Tim Hudson and the A's. A 19-game winning streak. If they get number 20, that would put them 1 back of the Cubs of 35 for the 2nd longest streak in modern baseball history. Right-hander Chad Bradford now up in the Oakland pen, and a very effective member of that A's bullpen this year.
After Tucker had doubled to left the last 2 times up, Hudson's changing his approach on him a little bit. He's trying to crowd him down, get him thinking about that ball inside. He caught 2 fastballs off the other way. And already here in the first 3 pitches, he's thrown him a couple of splitties and got him out in front.
Ball and 2 strikes to count on Tucker. Beltran and then Sweeney coming up after him here in the 7th inning. Got it. Number 6 for Tim Hudson. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Take part in a Major League Baseball history. Vote for your most memorable moment at every Major League Park or on MLB.com. You decide, because after all, these moments belong to you. Carlos Beltran takes it high. Now they've chosen the top 30 memorable moments, but if these A's go on and break the all-time record and win 27 in a row, can they sneak in number 31?
I don't think so. It'd be interesting to see what would happen.
There's no write-in portion of the ballot?
I think the votes might be tabulated already.
And there you can see what they've accomplished already. 55 years ago, the last time anybody won at least this many consecutive games. Ground ball down to first. Bit of a tough hop there. The play is made by Mabry, 2 down.
You know, they're still a good, if they win tonight, they're still 6 games away from tying the all-time record. And that's going through Minnesota and then getting back within the within their division and playing teams in your own division. So that's a lot to ask. I mean, I don't think anybody can imagine winning 20.
Yeah. And with Anaheim winning again, I mean, Oakland's got to win just to stay 3.5 ahead of them.
Absolutely. Angels have not let up. They've played great baseball, too.
And 8 games left between the A's and Angels. And if the A's are to keep moving on and break the all-time win record, the pivotal 27th game would be against the Anaheim Angels.
It's going to be some great baseball in September down the stretch.
Seattle lost. They were beaten by Minnesota 3-2. So the Mariners lose a game to the Angels here tonight. They'll be concerned in Seattle. They're now 3.5 behind the Angels for the wild card lead. Boston lost to New York, so the Red Sox lose another game in the wild card race as well. They're 6.5 back of the Angels.
If you're a Red Sox fan, it's getting tougher and tougher to feel like you're going to have a chance at the wild card and winning the division. If you're a fan of any of the teams in the American League West, I mean, they're going to bang heads here for the last 3 weeks of the season, and so the best team is going to win this division.
Some of them starting to stand here in Oakland. Better than 55,000 here, the largest regular season crowd in Coliseum history. The 1-2 pitch to Sweeney. And a ground ball up the middle into center field. A base hit. 2 for 4. Like Sweeney is tonight. So given what Brian told us earlier about Bernie Williams, I think we might have a new batting leader in the American League.
That is correct. And this is a great AB by Sweeney. Looked like he might have hurt himself on that last swing. It's a ball out over the plate. You just hit it right back where it came from. And that's a great AB for him. And it just he's having a conversation with somebody in the Royals dugout. Maybe trying to swing too hard. But anyway, he gets his second hit. Puts him in the lead.
Bradford continues to throw in the pen. The batter is Ibanez, 1 for 3. Out in the outside corner, 0-1. Starting to cool down a lot the last little while here. Hudson right at 100 pitches. He's a workhorse, though. Even though he's not the biggest guy in the world, he averages about 7 innings per start.
Seems like this whole rotation averages 7 innings per start if they're not finishing what they start. You know, I mean, this past month, Lytle throwing one-hitters, and these guys throwing complete games. The crowd really, this is their last home game too, so. The home crowd would love to see them get to 20.
Fly to Minnesota tomorrow to begin a series on Friday night. And you can see the A's and the Twins Sunday Night Baseball here on ESPN2. Barry Zito will be on the mound on Sunday night, going for his 20th win of the season. Eric Milton will be the starter for the Minnesota Twins. And look at what the starting pitchers have done over the course of this streak. Great friendly competition between all the starting pitchers here in Oakland, just like there was and has been for years and years in Atlanta.
You know, the Minnesota Twins came in here and got swept. They would like nothing more than have an opportunity to end this streak.
Especially because they could meet in the playoffs the way things are shaping up. That's pulled foul. The other pitching matchups in that series Friday night, Lytle, the American League Pitcher of the Month for August, against Brad Radke, and then on Saturday, Mark Mulder against Kyle Loesch.
I almost get the impression for that series that the matchups are like already set. There's a playoff preview for these two teams. They just played last week. Obviously, Oakland swept all three.
Runner at first, 2 down, 11-5. The A's lead the Royals here in the top of the 7th. Hudson trying to finish off what could be his last inning of work. Line drive, left field. Justice there. He drops it. He had it and he dropped it. Around to third comes Sweeney. And at first is Ibanez. It's been scored, a base hit for Ibanez, and the Royals not done this inning yet.
Another good AB right there. Ibanez gets a splitty down, goes down and gets it, goes right with it. Justice looks like he has his ball right in his glove, and he does. And there it falls out.
So we've seen the error by Tejada, the drop ball there by Justice, the fly ball that fell in between Justice and Long earlier in the night. It has been a bit of a sloppy defensive effort by the A's here. And the Royals still in business here in the 7th inning. Joe Randa's going to be the batter. Hudson is going to stay. Or maybe not. Here comes Art Howe. And he wants, you know what that means, the side-arming right-hander Chad Bradford to face Randa. Hudson has still done enough to win if the bullpen can bring it home. 6 2/3 here tonight. 11-5 the A's lead. Well, Tony, Tim Hudson battled tonight. Didn't have the best defense behind him, but more often than not pitched out of trouble. Doesn't get a chance to finish the 7th inning, but what a hand for him from the fans and teammates alike as he makes his way into the dugout.
The fans let him know that he appreciate his effort. And like you said, they made a couple of errors behind him, or made an error behind him that made him get a little bit of extra work. But he battled. He gave him all he had. A play here and a play there, he'd still be in there.
So Chad Bradford comes on to face Joe Randa with runners at first and third, 2 down in the 7th inning. Bradford's had a good year for Oakland. Tough on righties, 2.30 ERA on the season. Look at the walks.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're Art Howe, you look at those numbers, 54 punch-outs, 10 walks, you got to feel pretty good about that. He's done a nice job.
Bradford leads American League relievers in fewest walks per 9 innings. Something off, and on the appeal he didn't go. A ball and a strike. With a lefty on deck, Bradford's probably in there just for this one right-handed batter.
And after seeing Tim Hudson all night, see a guy come from down under and then throw a changeup from down under like that last pitch was. It's going to be awfully tough for Joe Randa to hang in there and get a good pitch to hit.
Ground ball right at Tejada. Shovel it on to Ellis to end the inning. 7th inning stretch here at Network Associates Coliseum. The A's still have a 6-run lead. Still 11-5 Oakland, going to the bottom of the 7th inning in a packed house here in Oakland. Well, it's going to be a packed house, you know it. In the Meadowlands tomorrow night, the 2002 NFL season kicks off tomorrow on ESPN. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern Time as Coors Light presents a special edition of NFL Countdown Then at 8:30 p.m., Jeff Garcia and the 49ers taking on the New York Giants. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for primetime football. New pitcher for the Royals, 6'7", 240-pound Blake Stein comes on to face David Justice here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Stein, some years ago, was a member of the A's. Part of the Mark McGwire deal from St. Louis to Oakland, and then traded from Oakland to Kansas City a couple of years back. Justice rips it on a bounce to first, but what a nice looking play by Sweeney.
Sweeney made that play. He made that play look easy, and Justice hit that ball extremely hard.
Now batting.
Look at him, he's in a position, stays with it, realizes that Stein got a late break, and makes the play.
There's a catcher coming up too. Didn't become a first baseman really until he was breaking into the big leagues.
He really didn't become an all-star until he moved to first base, and he's really come into his own.
There's Mark Ellis. Ellis has some Kansas City roots as well. Remember that three-way trade between Oakland, Kansas City, and Tampa Bay? That's the Johnny Damon, Ben Grieve, Roberto Hernandez deal. Ellis, a throw-in in that trade, who wound up in Oakland. The other throw-in, and not to demean him, but at the time, those were the three big names. The other guy who was a part of that deal was Corey Lytle. So the A's, picking up a piece here, picking up a piece there, and turning them into valuable parts of their team.
Those are the kind of trades you like, where throw-ins become regular players in your lineup.
Swing and a miss, and that is all for Ellis. 2 down. Back to Brian.
Hey, Dan, here's what we call the old TV jinx. Watch, Brett Tomko here, just as they flash up on the screen, has never had a complete game shutout. There it goes. Jeff Bagwell buries it. No shutout, but Tomko did finish it up, get the 5-1 win on the Padres.
Well, good news for the Padres. Tony, what did they use? 36 pitchers this year?
Yeah, 36.
A major league record. Terrence Long is the batter, and he takes it low, ball 1. You live there, obviously. You're still close to the organization. I mean, have they found enough good ones to go forward into 2003?
They have plenty. It's just the injuries. They had lots of injuries this year. They're forced to go down to the minor leagues and bring up these young guys. But I think in the long run, they're going to be fine. They got plenty of arms in their organization, and the biggest thing is just finding another position player or two, and they're going to be fine.
Long with the ground ball, fair down the line. Tucker's going to have to go over to foul territory, and Long checking him out, but he'll stop at second base.
Getting Terrence Long going would really help this Oakland A lineup. Beats this ball right down the first base line. Sweeney's playing off the bag. Can't get there.
The batter, catcher, Ramon Hernandez.
Second double of the night.
First base runner for the A's since back in the 3rd inning. They've got 13 hits on the night, Tony, and 8 of them are for extra bases, including a couple of doubles by this guy, Ramon Hernandez. Doubled in a run in the 1st, doubled in a run in the 3rd, grounded out in the 5th. Breaking ball for a strike from Stein.
Stein's been able to get that slider over and really throw it anytime he wants to and throw it for a strike.
And away there. Both of these teams with an off day yesterday. Weird series. Played Monday, played Wednesday, had Tuesday off, and they're both off tomorrow as they head to their next series.
Kind of nice for Oakland. It gave this crowd a chance to kind of develop with the off day.
And another indication of more attention for this team. Usually Art Howe might have 5 or 6 members of the media down there as they go back a few months. I mean, he was surrounded by about 25 writers and reporters before the game today.
Which I was one of. I was just kind of hanging around the fence. I didn't want to.
Ball right at Perez, the shortstop, and that's the inning. 7 complete in Oakland. The A's 2 innings away from a 20th consecutive win.
ESPN2's Wednesday Night Baseball, presented by Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube, the well-oiled machine. And in part by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Top of the 8th inning. Royals down 6 with 6 outs left to go. That's all that stands between the Oakland A's and a new American League record 20-game winning streak. Art Howe going for defense now. Eric Burns has replaced David Justice out in left field. Brent Mayne leads off the 8th against Chad Bradford. Mayne 1 for 3, bounced into a double play his last time up. The count on Mayne. Again, other teams in the American League West were following. The Anaheim Angels won earlier today, beat Tampa Bay 4-2. The Seattle Mariners lost 3-2 to the Twins. So at the moment, the Angels are just 3 back of the A's, even though the A's have won 19 in a row.
On the verge of winning 20. It is some amazing baseball this year.
The Mariners are the team really falling out of touch. At the beginning of the 19-game winning streak, Seattle was in first, and the A's were 3.5 back. So Oakland's picked up 10 games on Seattle during these 19 games.
I don't think anybody expected Seattle to come out and win 116 games again, but they've played pretty good baseball too, and they've had some injury problems, but can't take anything away from these A's. They've just played outstanding ball.
Brent Mayne draws the walk. That's why, as nice as the streak is, the A's, specifically David Justice, know there are bigger things still at hand.
The way we feel right now, because there's a bigger picture here, I mean, we're not that far ahead in our division. So the streak is a part of it, but the fact is we still got to continue to play good baseball because the Angels are right there. Seattle is not going anywhere. So that's the bigger picture that's more important. The streak, I think we all feel, has to end one day. And I think we approach it that way. I don't think we put any extra pressure on ourselves to continue to win for the streak. I think it's more or less we're just understanding that we got to continue to play good baseball because we don't have this thing won yet.
And they do have the smallest lead of any division winner in baseball, but even if the Angels catch them, somebody else would have to catch them to knock them out of the playoffs. So they are in pretty good shape. If they win tonight, they'll be 7 up on Seattle. That's a lot of ground to make up, although the Mariners and A's do have 6 games left against one another.
That's the saving grace, really, for a lot of these, for Angels in Seattle. If they want to catch him, they got to knock him off, and they don't get a chance to knock him off head-to-head.
As easy as it is to see a team getting on a winning streak, not this long, but a winning streak, with his pitching staff, that's as hard as it is to imagine the A's having a long losing streak, because somebody, Mulder, Zito, Hudson, somebody's going to throw a good game.
Yeah, it's like the Oakland A's staff is a bunch of guys that, as a manager, you want to go to after a loss. You know, it's like Pedro, it's like Schilling and Johnson. These 3 guys are like that guy. And when you put the ball in their hand, they're really competitive and they want to win. And they've said already they don't want to be the guy who gives up whatever number of runs or whatever it takes for them to get beat. They don't want to be that guy. So.
Ball and 2 strikes on D. Brown. 1 for 3 tonight. A 2-run single back in the 4th inning. Mayne at first, nobody out. Now let's go back to the day the streak began. August the 12th. Seattle in first place, and the Athletics actually 4.5 back. So they've picked up 11 games on Seattle over the last 3 weeks.
Wow. Wow.
And the Angels right there. They're 14-6 in their last 20 games. So Oakland could be 20-0. So even at 14-6, the Angels would have lost 6 games, but you can't ask for much better than that. He's a big reason why. Chavez, Justice hot, Mabry.
Jermaine Dye, Long. You know, tonight Hernandez. Seems like everybody's gotten a big hit.
The teams they've beaten during the winning streak, and as you can see, it's not exactly the who's who of the American League. And the schedule is going to get tougher as they go back within their own division to play the Angels and Mariners a whole bunch the rest of the way. But you know what? Every team once or twice a season has a stretch like this. Nobody else has won 19 in a row.
That's exactly right. You know, I mean, you try to. I guess the best way to try to bring down the fact that, you know, Oakland's won 19 in a row because the teams that they've played are under 500. Well, everybody's playing the same teams in the American League. And at some point or another during the course of the season, you're going to have your chance too. These are the only guys who've been able to put it together. And so 19 wins is amazing. I mean, you get to 20 wins in a row. That's 20 times going out there and playing the game and ending up with the W at the end. That's hard to imagine.
Bradford ready. Some activity now in the Oakland pen. Pitch misses inside. And maybe a little more good news and more depth coming to the A's. Ted Lilly. Remember him? As Ricardo Rincon starts throwing down in the pen. Lilly picked up in that three-way deal between the A's and Yankees and Tigers. Lilly threw a simulated game today, and if everything goes okay, if he feels good the next couple of days, he could be back in about a week. 3-2.
That'll make an even stronger staff. A bit strong.
And another lefty too.
Well, you get into playoff baseball, your 3 or 4 and 5 starters become really important because now you can use a possible guy like Corey Lytle coming in to get some right-handers out, a guy like Lilly coming in to get some left-handers out. Those spots become huge for the postseason. I don't want to get ahead of myself too far, but you know they've got as good a chance as anybody in the American League of getting to the postseason and going on and possibly getting to the World Series.
In the most likely scenario, that's if they hold on to win the West, would be them facing the Minnesota Twins in the first round. A team they just swept last week and a team they're going to play again this weekend. If the playoffs were to start today, it would be the Yankees against the Angels and the A's against the Twins.
The playoffs this year are going to be interesting no matter how it ends up. You know, Minnesota's been really good all year long, and they're just getting their starting pitching healthy. So you can't count them out either.
Down and away, ball 4. Back-to-back walks given up here to begin the 8th inning. More baseball coming your way Friday over on ESPN. National League style as Barry Bonds and the Giants try to make up some ground on the Dodgers and on the Diamondbacks. They'll take on Arizona 10:30 Eastern time at Pac Bell Park just across the bay on ESPN. Some markets will see the Houston Astros against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Rick Peterson, the pitching coach, coming to the mound to try and sort out Bradford as Rincon looks on, ready if needed from the pen. Remember, we said right when he came in, maybe we shouldn't have said it, he's got the fewest walks per 9 innings of any reliever in the American League. Walks the first 2 guys.
We jinxed him, of course. Oh, those 10 walks, that's pretty impressive. In the last one, he was ahead 0-2. D. Brown battled him and got a walk out of it. And you got the 8 and 9 hitters coming up. And so these next 2 hitters become huge here for Oakland because you don't want to turn the lineup around with some ducks on the pond with guys who've, you know, Tucker's got 2 hits and 2 ribbies tonight. Sweeney's got a couple of hits. Ibanez has got a couple of hits. You don't want to get, you know, the middle of the Royals lineup up there.
Nefi Perez 1 for 3, an RBI single in the 4th inning. First and second, nobody out. Chavez in on the grass at third. And the pitch just a little bit low from Bradford. And the crowd getting restless. They've come to expect everything is going to go their way here.
They're spoiled rotten is what it is. With Bradford in this delivery, it's not that he's overpowering. He's really in the mid-80s speed-wise, but being able to pick up the ball and take a good swing, and that's a whole nother issue.
There's a strike. Well, with the off day yesterday and another off day tomorrow, everybody's available down there in the bullpen should this game get any closer, and should Art Howe need somebody else. He's got to bring Cone up and ready if needed, and you know if he needs him, he'll go to Koch. Even though Billy Koch appeared in 4 consecutive games ending on Monday, did have the off day yesterday. Boy, that's a wacky looking pitch he's got there. 2-1. It missed up and in.
You don't see many guys with this kind of delivery where he's a submariner, but it's not really that. He's not overpowering. He's 82, 83, 84 miles an hour. So speed-wise, you know, he's not going to be intimidating. Just picking up the ball.
Bailed out there, 2-2. It might be one of the areas where they're a little bit unsettled. Right-handed setup guy. Is it Messier? Is it Tam? Is it Bradford? Who's it going to be?
When you're seeing a guy throw from down under, it's especially after facing Hudson all night long, it's going to be a little difficult. It's going to be tough. But to answer your question, that's why when you get to postseason, you know, having a guy like Corey Lytle,
yeah,
guy like Lilly, those guys, 4 and 5 guys become important because now that gives you an extra weapon to try to get guys out, to get an out. Maybe an out that gets you out of a jam in an inning, so you can go to your closer or go to your setup guy. And I'll tell you what, having a guy like Corey Lytle to go into the setup role, that's a nice thing to have, a nice piece of the puzzle to have going into a postseason series.
2-2 the count on Perez. And the pitch swung on, bounced to the right side, backhanded by Mabry. The race is on, and he's not going to win it as the Royals have now loaded him up with nobody out.
Bradford got a late break. He thought Mabry was going to take that himself. And Neffy Perez takes really a bad AB and turns it into a base hit. Just rolls over the top of it, and Bradford starts and then stops, and by then it's too late. Perez got a whiff of a base hit. And watch him turn it on when he sees nobody's there. Oh, I'll take it.
So the Royals, who got all of their runs tonight back in the 4th inning, trying to put together another big inning here in the 8th and to make Art Howe sweat a little bit more.
See, Art Howe thought early on, okay, I'm going to be able to breathe tonight. Relax, kind of take it easy. And another typical A's game.
Whether they're down or they're up, they're never dull. They always get interesting at the end. Luis Ordaz is the batter. It was 11-0 Oakland after 3. And it's been 11-5 ever since the 4th.
Kansas City has had opportunities to peck away at that 11-5 deficit. They just haven't been able to get a big hit.
Inning-ending double play in the 5th. Left a couple men on in the 7th. Swung on, bounce, backhand by Tejada, coming home and safe at the plate. When he had a sure out at third base, he went for a much tougher play, and it cost him.
Now this one I cannot explain. Tejada goes a long way in the hole. I mean, really, Chavez goes right to the bag. Really, the play is to go to third. And instead, he goes home. And Hernandez, I know, wasn't expecting that ball.
A mental mistake by Miguel Tejada. It's 11-6, and the A's are going to the pen. The lead now down to 5. Now just a brain cramp there by Miguel Tejada, going for the tough play at home instead of the easier play at third. Didn't get it out. A run scored. It's 11-6. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Ricardo Rincon comes on to face Michael Tucker.
Michael Tucker tried to get time. Chuck Merriweather didn't give it to him, and it's the umpire's decision whether he gives it to you or not. He didn't. So he's down in the count 0-1.
Tucker 0 for 4 lifetime against Rincon. Picked up at a deal with Cleveland earlier this season. Art Howe not quite comfortable anymore. Not only is Rincon into the game with these numbers combined between the Indians and the A's, but he's got a righty and a lefty throwing in the bullpen just in case.
This game went from a relaxed stage to really almost critical now. But they need to get some outs here. When they're up 5, they'll sacrifice an out for a run. And they'll do it a couple of times if they have to.
One and 2 the count on Tucker. The left-hander is Micah Bowie throwing in the pen, and the right-hander is Jeff Tam. Guys down there, I thought they were going to get the night off tonight. Bases loaded, nobody out for the Royals here in the 8th inning. Check the swing on the slider away. 2-2.
That kind of gives you a lot of arm action at the release point. Throws the fastball both ways, work both halves of the plate. Big slow breaking ball in a quick slider.
3-2. How about this inning if you go back through it? Bradford, who never walks anybody, walks the first 2 batters of the inning. Nefi Perez comes up with an infield hit when Bradford's slow getting over to first. And then Ordaz, credited with a fielder's choice and an RBI, when Tejada throws home instead of to third. I mean, it's not like the Royals are hitting the ball hard.
No, they're not. They're not even close.
The A's are begging them to get back into this game. 3-2, the count on Tucker. Strike 3 call.
I think this is one of those times where Tucker still kind of upset because he didn't get the timeout when he called it. But I think he was looking for a breaking ball here and got a fastball in and just couldn't pull the trigger.
Chuck Merriweather's watching Michael Tucker pretty closely on his way back to the dugout.
Oh, that's a slider.
Now batting center fielder Carlos Beltran.
Michael not happy about it.
Now Carlos Beltran turns around to bat right-handed against Ricardo Rincon, where they're getting into the heart of the order now. By the way, just one more note on the Oakland bullpen. Jim Messier, who could be up or in at this point of the game, is serving a suspension right now, the second of a 3-game suspension, resulting from an incident with the Chicago White Sox when he hit Royce Clayton. So the A's are a man short in the bullpen tonight. Beltran already with 2 grand slams on the season, but he's 0 for 4 tonight.
It's a pretty good bet that this is going to be his last hitter with Sweeney standing in the on-deck circle. Unless he can get a double play ball. You have to believe they're going to bring a right-hander in to get him.
They got a tough lefty in Ibanez behind him, so Art Howe might have to go through a number of relievers. Just outside, 2 balls and a strike on Beltran.
Rincon really wanted this pitch. It was up and just off.
At third, D. Brown. At second, Nefi Perez. At first, Luis Ordaz. Just 1 out. The pop fly down the right field line. Dye racing over. He'll make the catch. Tagging and coming home is Brown. He'll beat the throw at the plate. It's 11-7, and Perez comes down to third. Good hustle there by D. Brown.
Maine Dye made a nice play on this. Really a perfect 1-hop throw. Just D. Brown speed beat the play.
And that's going to be all for Rincon. Looks like the right-hander Tam's going to come in. The lead is down to 4. Well, a few innings ago, it was a laugher, and the A's were unquestionably on their way to an American League record 20th consecutive win. It was 11-0 Oakland after 3. Kansas City with 4 in the 5th, but then things kind of settled down until this inning. The Royals have added 2 runs. They've got runners at first and third, 2 down, as right-hander Jeff Tam comes into the game to face the man who right now is the leading hitter in the American League, and Mike Sweeney. Sweeney 2 for 4 tonight, 2 for 8 lifetime against Tam.
Sweeney's done it the old-fashioned way. He went 0 for 2 and he's gotten 2 straight hits.
Jeff Tam was one of the guys sent down on that fateful day back in May when Billy Beane and Art House shook up the roster. Sent down 3, called up 3, made a trade. Was with the A's the last couple of years, called back up in July. Tam has gone 84 innings, 79 appearances since giving up a home run. The guy at the plate right now has 19 on the season. Just missed a ball and a strike.
Tam went for the outside corner there and almost got it. The fastball, he tried to sneak back on the inside, on the outside part of the plate.
Well, a comeback win here tonight to end the streak would give the Royals something to talk about on the way home in what has otherwise been a long, tough season. They got a pitch up, fouled back, 1-2. The Oakland A's trying to set the American League record and move into sole possession of the 3rd longest winning streak in modern baseball history. That's why 55,000 people have shown up here at the ballpark tonight. Balls and 2 strikes.
Again, he went for that outside corner. Just not getting enough movement at the end. Starts it off the plate and tries to run it back off the outside corner.
This could be his only batter. If he loses him, Raul Ibanez, a good left-handed batter, would come up, and there's a lefty, Micah Bowie, ready in the pen for the A's. Now the 2-2. Well, he has some good hacks.
He went right at him there, and Sweeney took a good hack. Oakland A's bullpen's trying to get time because there's a ball on the field, but look at Sweeney. He's right on that. That's a pitch he wished he could have back. 2-2 count. You're not supposed to get many things up and over the heart of the plate. Took a rip at him, fouled it off.
And a time called again.
Ball from Kansas City's bullpen this time.
Jason Grimsley, the right-hander. Jeremy Affeldt, the left-hander. And again, Bowie for the A's. Paul Bird lasted just 1 inning in this game, gave up 6 runs. 11-0 after 3, but much tighter now. 11-7, 2 on for the Royals. It's not going to go easy.
Sweeney's making him earn it. Tam has thrown some quality pitches here. Just missed the outside corner twice. With a little sinker down and in.
He'll get Ibanez if Tam can't get Sweeney. Now again, time is called. As been some debris on the field every now and again. There might be a little bit of trouble down in that Royal bullpen, but hopefully it's all sorted out and the fans are behaving themselves.
I think they're getting a little nervous. 11-0 to 11-7.
Again, the 2-2. Are you one of those who feels that every pitch a good hitter sees gives him more and more of an advantage?
I am. I really believe that. The more pitches you see, the better hitter you should be. And Tam's thrown him just about everything in his arsenal here, and he's fouled the last couple of them off. And so it really just boils down to, can Tam make a pitch here with 2 strikes?
This would be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Sweeney hitting .342. Full count. That will allow Ordaz, the runner at first, to be off with the pitch.
So he's worked it to 3-2. Now with the runner going, if he can get a base hit here, he'll cut it to a 3-run deficit.
Trying to get an out the easy way, but Ordaz wasn't fooled.
I'm sure the first base coach said, look, we got to let Sweeney swing the bat. Make sure he goes to the plate.
Ordaz at first, Perez down the line at third. 2 runs in this inning to make it a 4-run game. And the 3-2. High fly ball pulled down the left field line toward the corner at the wall. It is gone. Mike Sweeney hits a home run. A 3-run shot, and it's a 1-run game as Jeff Tam gives up his first home run in his last 84 innings.
I don't think Sweeney was for sure when he hit that ball. He hit it pretty good, but we watched it for a long time, and Burns went as far up against the wall as he could go, and we got a 1-run game. That's a pitch up. And Sweeney hits this ball, and he's looking. He doesn't know if he's got enough of that.
I wasn't sure he got enough, and I was pretty sure he hit it foul. But
that's what I thought. I
Yeah.
thought it was going foul.
But it's easily fair.
And as soon as it gets out of the park, Sweeney has to shift it into high gear because he was standing in the plate area watching.
So the Royals have scored 5 runs here in the 8th inning to make it a 1-run game. And that's going to be all for Tam. Left-hander Micah Bowie is going to come into the game, and the tying run is going to come to the plate when we come back to Oakland. What a game. Mike Sweeney, his 20th home run of the season, a 3-run shot off Jeff Tam, makes it a 1-run game. Remember, the A's led 11-0 after 3 innings, and Mike Sweeney saying what you and I said, you know, it started foul and it just came back fair.
Kind of straightened out. The wind's blowing. If you look in the left field corner, the wind's blowing out to left, and you look at the right field flags, and they're blowing out to right, so what he's saying is making sense. When he hit it, he thought he was going to hook foul, and it stayed straight.
Micah Bowie, a left-hander into the game, and he jumps out in front of Raul Ibanez, 0-2. So Art Howe, after Tim Hudson, has had to go through Chad Bradford, Ricardo Rincon, Jeff Tam, now Micah Bowie, a left-hander called up at the end of July. And he's already got his closer, Billy Koch, up here in the 8th inning. Now remember, on Monday, the A's trailed 5-0, came back to win 7-6. Now they were up 11-0, and the lead is down to 1. They may be winning, but they're not winning dull, that's for sure. Outside.
Once again, you got to give Tony Peña's his crew a lot of credit. They didn't quit. They kept battling. And now they find themselves down a run after being down 11-0.
2-2. We talked about it earlier. The Tejada error in the 4th inning led to 3 unearned runs. And Tejada not charged with an error this inning, but just made the wrong play. Made a throw for home instead of an easy play at third. So they didn't get an out. And that could have changed the inning.
Absolutely.
Fights it off down the left field line. Burns racing over, but this ball is foul. To console Jeff Tam right now after facing just one batter and giving up the home run to Mike Sweeney. 2-2 the count on Ibanez. And the ground ball to the second baseman Ellis. Inning over, but the Royals get 5 more onto the bottom of the 8th. 11-10 A's.
Brian Kenny here in the studio. Pretty good finish to the Rockies and Giants. A 2-1 ball game. 2 on, 2 out in the 9th. Bill Miller, long shot, but Larry Walker is there, so the Rockies take it. San Francisco staying 2.5 behind the Dodgers in the wild card. Dan, Tony?
Brian, thanks very much. A wild one here tonight with the Royals packed within a run as the A's try to extend this winning streak to 20. It was easy, at least it looked easy in the first 3 innings. Anything but since, as the A's have already gone through 5 pitchers. And the last time that a home team, this is from our friends at Elias, the last time a home team blew a lead this big, 26 years ago. Mike Schmidt hit 3 home runs in that game against the Cubs, and the Phillies rallied to win 18-16. 4 home runs. I beg your pardon. Jeremy Affeldt into the game now for the Royals here in the bottom of the 8th.
One of the things that's happened here, look at Affeldt's numbers. So Oakland, they've kind of gotten flat offensively. Put 11 runs on the board in the first 3 innings. In Kansas City's bullpen, you got to give them credit. They've done a nice job here for the next 4, shutting them down.
Got to feel a little bit for Tim Hudson, who was betrayed by his defense. He wasn't at his sharpest tonight, but 6 times this year Hudson has left with a lead, and the bullpen has let the lead slip away. And number 7 could be here tonight. Down to back 2-2. And again, not to pin it all on one guy, but that's the guy tonight. He has made 1 error, which cost him 3 runs, and then just a bad decision, which turned around an inning. Not charged with an error. It cost him a few more runs in the 8th inning. And now it's a nail biter. And so we will see Billy Koch in the top of the 9th inning.
Not exactly the situation Art Howe was looking for.
Long run for Sweeney. Good effort, no play. Let's take you back in case you missed some of the earlier moments in this game. Miguel Tejada first with the error in the 4th inning. Led to 3 unearned runs, and then this one with a big lead instead of the easy out at third. The tough misplay at the plate. You could see the way Hernandez was standing at the plate. He wasn't even expecting a throw.
Not a chance was he expecting a throw. And if he'd have just gone to third, they'd have gotten an out. Saved possibly a bigger inning. So it scored a fielder's choice, but it really was a bad decision. If he'd have gone to third and gotten the out, even tried to turn and maybe go to second to get the out. Just getting it out in that play is a good play.
Pop fly, shallow right center. And Beltran runs out from under his cap to make the play 1 down. Well, remember, we saw them earlier. Thousands and thousands of people brought with them tonight Miggy for MVP, little placards, little signs, and we haven't seen quite as much of them over the last few innings. I mean, 1 game shouldn't take away from what he's accomplished the entire season.
Oh, it's not. It's not, because nobody feels worse about it than he does.
Yeah.
He's 0 for 4, or he's 0 for 3. He was hit by the pitch the first time up. He's the only guy without a hit tonight. He's made a couple of bad decisions that's cost his team. out of the 10 runs, a good 5 or 6 of those runs are a direct result of decisions that he made. So,
but he could very easily come up, hit one out of the ballpark.
I wasn't going to say it. I was just, and that's, he's had that kind of year.
Yep.
And tonight, he's really been uncharacteristically swinging early in the camp. And this is one of those games you hope you can get out of with a win. And for him individually, you turn the page, forget about this game, and look forward to the next one.
3-1. The count to John Mabry, who's had a good night. 2 for 4 with a homer and a couple of RBIs. (11-10) Oakland, bottom of the 8th inning, and a full count now to Mabry. Jason Grimsley, veteran right-hander, ready in the pen, perhaps for Tejada. And a ground ball to second, gobbled up by Ordaz. Mabry gone, 2 down. There again is what Oakland is trying to accomplish here tonight. Sole possession of the all-time American League record for longest win streak. They're looking for number 20 if they can hang on and win this game here tonight. Tony Peña's made the move. The right-hander Jason Grimsley is coming in to face Miguel Tejada when we come back to Oakland. From a laugher to a nail-biter for the A's here tonight. An 11-0 lead is almost gone. It's 11-10, but Oakland may be looking for a little insurance here in the bottom of the 8th. Jason Grimsley, quality right-handed reliever, comes on for the Royals. Good stuff, but even his good stuff could not derail Miguel Tejada 2 days ago. Remember that game-winning RBI single on Monday that ran the winning streak to 19? That was off Grimsley. So they meet again 48 hours later.
The only difference is instead of the adrenaline flowing freely, tonight's been one of those nights for him. And this is a big situation for them, so he needs to have a good at-bat.
They still believe, notwithstanding the rough night that Tejada has had tonight. One other thing about Tejada that should not be overlooked, he plays every single game. This is his 409th consecutive game. That's the longest active streak in the majors.
That's how you learn. They put him out there and said, okay, shortstop's job is yours. Let's see what you can do. And he's put numbers up 3 straight years.
Grimsley doesn't get the call there, and it's 2-0. Blame to pull. They need that outfielder to come in and have 5 guys in there like they did on Monday.
They still couldn't stop him.
Nice play.
I'm getting my pants dirty tonight too.
And there's the closer. We're going to see him in the 9th inning, Billy Koch.
The thing about Tejada, you see him. He's not a very big guy, but he's got some kind of pop the other way, too. He's not just a pull hitter. He'll take that ball out over the plate and drive it in the right center field, too.
On the corner, 2-2. The A's have had just 1 hit in the last 4 2/3. They erupted early and have been silent ever since. A high chopper down to third. And the throw wide of the bag, and now Tejada finding out that he had a chance at second, but by the time he found the ball or heard his coach, he couldn't go to second. It has been scored a base hit for Tejada.
Tejada saying, what happened with the ball? Just a high sinker. He rolls right over the top of it. Randa knows he's got to hurry. Throws this ball into the runner. There it is. He's going hard down the line. Looking for the ball and realizes the catcher backing up the play like good catchers are supposed to do, running right down that line too. He had a long way to go too to get to it.
You don't want to risk anything with Eric Chavez coming up. Chavez didn't like that call. He's 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs tonight, giving him an even 100 on the season. Billy Koch sure had a long time to get loose down there in the bullpen in preparation for the top of the ninth. 37 saves on the season for Koch.
Ooh.
That's what I thought.
Grimsley went right at him.
Yeah. But don't give it to him again.
Man, I wouldn't. Chavez is right on this ball. He just was underneath. And that's one of those pitches you'd love to have back.
Way out in front 0-2. Tejada at first, 2 down.
Grimsley's gone with the really trying to get the turbo sinker on the outside corner. Came at him with a fastball in the middle of the plate. But it looks like Grimsley's ball for Chavez point of view will work away from him. So if he throws this ball in, that goes slide.
And he got him to end the inning. So we are headed to the ninth. Billy Koch and the A's 3 outs away from their 20th straight win. Well, at 11-0, I think everybody in the ballpark chalked up win number 20 and said, who's next? But the Royals weren't quite ready to go quietly. 5 in the 4th, 5 in the 8th to make it a 1-run game. And when the A's lead after 8, which they often do, at least this season, they have won every single time. Now, there have been some blown saves. Billy Koch has blown 5 saves this year. But I guess when you lead a charmed life, it seems every time Koch has some trouble, the A's come back in the bottom of the 9th and win the game. Still,
like this weekend.
Yep.
And gave him a home run and just really worked himself into some trouble by working behind in a camp like this. You know, he needs to get ahead. And you got to remember, he's worked a few games here in a row.
Had the off day yesterday, but worked 4 consecutive days before that. When he struggles, this is how it starts. Falls behind, forced to come in with a fastball. Joe Randa leading off the 9th. Koch has 37 saves in 42 opportunities this season, second in the league in saves. Eddie Guardado with the Twins, 1 ahead of him. Art Howe believes, and Billy Koch has tried to make him believe, that the more Koch pitches, the better he is. And this is already the 71st appearance for Koch. 3-1. He has already pitched 79 innings. Twice this year he has gone 3 innings. For a closer, he's a workhorse.
He didn't like that last call. He felt like he looked the outside corner.
3-1 to Randa. Swung on and fouled back. Full count. It's never dull, and tonight it hasn't been easy, at least lately for the A's. History is what the A's are trying to set tonight. An American League record, 20th consecutive win. 3 outs away. Line drive, center field, base hit. Don't go away.
That bat by Randa, he just stood in there, took the heater, fought it off into center field, base hit.
Now the pinch runner coming on for the Royals now. A big hand all around for Joe Randa. Kit Pello comes on as a pinch runner. He's the tying run. Nobody out of the 9th inning. And Brent Mayne is the batter. Chavez, the third baseman, in on the grass. Mabry holds on Pello at first. And a throw to first to see if Mayne is giving anything away, whether or not he's bunting. The The rule of thumb generally, Tony, is on the road. You play for the lead, play for the win, not for the tie. So does that mean he will not be bunting here?
I think they battled so hard tonight to get within a run. I think they're going to square and bunt.
And he gets it down. Mabry on to Ellis. Sacrifice for Maine. Pellet to second.
Good execution there by Maine. Taking a 96, 97 mile per hour heater and getting it down. Pitch up in the zone, deadens it enough so that you can get the runner to second. And so now you've got D. Brown and Neffy Perez to try to get a base hit here to tie this ball game up.
Hello, the runner at second, one out. Brown, his first action with the big club this season, 1 for 3, had a 2-run single. He's also walked. Koch and about 45,000 who are still here didn't like that call.
He's made some pretty good pitches down in the zone. Chuck Merriweather just hadn't given it to him. D. Brown's going to have a hard time turning up on this heat.
Well, we told you it was 26 years ago, the last time a home team blew an 11-run lead. The last time the Athletics blew an 11-run lead, they were in Philadelphia 66 years ago. One and two.
Koch is coming right at him. And D. Brown is hanging in there tough.
Check the swing. No! Chuck Merriweather punched him out at the plate. Brown is gone, 2 down.
And this is what I'm talking about when you go from a dead stop. Once you start your momentum, it's hard to stop. And Chuck Merriweather calls him out.
Yeah.
And he did go.
Yeah, he did. So the Royals are down to their final out. That means the A's are 1 out away from a 20-game winning streak.
Number 12, Luis.
NFL Yearbook 2001 Vikings coming up next year on ESPN2. And we have a pinch hitter now for Kansas City as Luis Alicea comes up for Neffy Perez. A base hit could tie it. Koch trying to end it and send this place into absolute delirium. The largest regular season crowd in the history of the Coliseum, 55,528. Hoping to see a little bit of history tonight. They didn't expect quite as much of a roller coaster ride, seeing all but 1 run from an 11-0 lead disappear. Alicea 1 for 15 as a pinch hitter this year. Check swing, tapper foul.
Really, Koch has come in and thrown nothing but strikes, really. Good power fastball.
Over 1 the count on Alicea, the tying run at second base. Swung on, fouled off, 0-2.
Good slider right there, down and in.
Billy Koch said if we've tied it, we might as well break it. He's a pitch away. The only reliever in history with 30 or more saves in each of his first four seasons as a big leaguer. He was a closer about 2 weeks after he got to the big leagues back in '99. Remember, there's more than just a streak at stake here. The Angels won again. So Oakland needs to win to stay 3.5 ahead of Anaheim. The count on Alicea. Kit Pello, the runner out at second base. Sliced into left field. It's dropping a base hit. And the Royals have tied it here in the 9th inning. They have come all the way back from an 11-0 deficit to tie it in the 9th.
Great AB by Alicea. He just stayed up there and fought off a fastball to left field, and outfielders are playing deep. Fastball just kind of gets jammed and fights it off to left field. Good base running by Pello. He comes around. Burns tries to make the throw. Too late.
Luis Ordaz, swing and a miss. Lone save number 6 for Billy Koch. Well, the optimists among the A's fans would say that's just going to make the win that much more dramatic. Whenever and however they figure out how to win it tonight, because they've been figuring out how to win games in wild ways in this streak. But this one's definitely the wildest. It was 11-0 after 3, and the Royals have tied it up. Miguel Tejada, by the way, the hero of the last 2 games, just hit in the bottom of the 8th inning, so he is not scheduled to come up in the bottom of the 9th. So if he's going to be the hero again, that means this game's going extra innings.
I'll tell you what, that base hit just took a whole lot of electricity out of this ballpark.
I was going to say, it sucked the air right out of this place.
Just absolutely get quiet here. And the guy you feel for is Tim Hudson. An 11-run lead. And looked for sure like he was going to get the win. And now he gets the no decision.
Seventh time this year the bullpen has blown a lead for Tim Hudson. No balls, 2 strikes, the count on Ordaz.
I've been saying this all night too. You have to give credit to the Kansas City Royals. They could have folded their tent a long time ago, and they didn't. They kept on battling. Nobody's happier than Tony Perez. He's gotten these guys. A game like this, whether they win or lose, does a lot for their confidence. I mean, they've showed people that there's no quit. We're going to battle you. We're going to make you earn whatever you get.
It's as if Art Howe had a premonition. He talked extensively before the game about the pride the Royals have and how they're just not going to roll over for the sake of the streak. Look out. Sails to the backstop and then bobbled by Hernandez. So into second base on the wild pitch goes Alicea. And now a bloop here or there could give the Royals the lead.
In this pitch, he just looked like he overthrew this. And then he bounces back to Hernandez, and he would have had a shot at Alicea. He just lost the grip on it. We've seen a little bit of everything in this game. Billy Koch was in control, it looked like, and 1 strike away from setting a record. And next thing you know, blank base hit, tie ball game. Now you're 1 pitch away from being down a run.
The 2-2 to Ordaz, outside, full count. You don't want to lose this guy, the number 9 hitter, a right-handed batter, and bring up a more dangerous hitter in Michael Tucker, who's on deck.
I don't know about your score sheet, but mine's taking a beating over here today.
You know, the last game I did was the 19-1 game on Monday. This is a piece of cake compared to that. But this one may not be over yet. Who knows? Tied at 11 in the 9th. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back.
or Dawes got to pitch out over the plate. In a situation like this, you just want to try to put your bat on the ball. Don't try to go up there and muscle up on a guy who's going 96, 97 miles per hour. I would say AB was a nice AB, and that he just put the bat on the ball and it fell in.
Runner goes, and they got him picked off. Boy, what is going on? Alicea ties it with a base hit and then denies them a chance to take the lead. Unbelievable game, especially with what's at stake. A 20-game winning streak as the A's blow an 11-0 lead. Kansas City ties it in the ninth. Luis Alicea pinch hit bloop single to tie it. He gets to second. What's he doing going to third with 2 outs?
I don't know. He's already in scoring position. And I guess after a couple of pitches, he thought he had Koch lulled to sleep, and he gets picked. And of course, Koch is not happy about giving up the hit to tie the game. And
leading off for the Athletics.
So now Alicea stays in the game at second base. And Dawes moves over to short. And Pello goes to third.
And Jermaine Dye leads off the bottom of the ninth against Jason Grimsley. Dye, the number 5 hitter, Eric Burns on deck. Remember, he came on defensively for David Justice, but now Scott Hatteberg is out of the on-deck circle in Burns' spot. 1-0 the count on Dye. Tied at 11 here in the bottom of the ninth inning in front of a stunned crowd in Oakland.
Stunned is a good word, I think. Some people are standing, some people are sitting. There was action on a school night, too. We want to see this record.
The swing of the bat would send the A's into history with their 20th consecutive win. Something no American League team has ever done. Boy, but to blow an 11-run lead, something the A's have done here tonight. Only the Giants of 1916, and they had a tie in there, and the Cubs of 35 have had longer winning streaks in the modern era, that's since 1900, than the A's of 2002. Swinging a foul back, 2-2.
One way or the other, this game's going to have an effect on this Oakland team. If they're able to come back and win this game, yeah, they're going to feel good about getting to 20. But they're also going to know that, hey, we had an 11-0 lead against a team that's in last place, and they came back and tied us because of mistakes that we made. And if we were the type of team that wants to get to the postseason, we're going to have to play better baseball than we played tonight.
They handed run after run to the Royals. Fouled off by Dye. If it goes to the 10th, we will assume that Billy Koch is coming back out. Nobody up in the pen. Koch threw 22 pitches in that top of the ninth inning. Tough to fault him for the bloop hit by Alicea. I guess if you're going to hang something on Koch, it's falling behind Aranda 2-0. The first hitter he faced and eventually giving up the base hit. Alicea tied it with a little flare to left field. Check swing and a full count on Dye.
And that's going to happen. For closers, sometimes you bring them in these one-run games. Sometimes they're going to make a mistake. Sometimes they're going to make a bad pitch. Sometimes they're going to make a great pitch, and a hitter's going to do a great job of hitting. You can't expect them to go out there every time and not give up anything.
Yeah. The story of this game is the Oakland defense, really.
Absolutely. Without question tonight. The defense and the decision making on the defensive side too, because the biggest play of the night now has turned out to be Tejada's decision to come to the plate instead of going to third, and that decision has cost them at least 2 runs, probably 3.
Full count pitch again to Jermaine Dye. Swung on, fly ball, right field, fairly deep, but playable for Tucker, 1 down. You can just sense, being here in the park, that everybody here in the stands feels it's going to end here in the bottom of the ninth. They're just wondering how the A's are going to pull it out. They've come to expect to win every night. Well, maybe the hero is going to be a guy coming off the bench. Scott Hatteberg pops out as a pinch hitter for Eric Burns.
Look at that. The police are walking in the A's dugout, so they at least feel like something's going to happen this inning.
Hatteberg plays generally the first baseman for the A's, with John Mabry getting the start tonight. So Hatteberg comes off the bench against Grimsley. A 19-game winning streak on the line here for the A's. The front runners in the American League West right now 3 up on the Angels. Swung on, fly ball, deep right field. They've done it again. They let an 11-run lead get away. And in the bottom of the ninth, Scott Hatteberg comes up and hits a bomb to right field for the game-winning home run. The Oakland A's have set a new American League record with their 20th consecutive win. And this is a game nobody here will ever forget.
Like hanging out over the middle of the plate. Get it out of the ballpark, and the Oakland A's, like they've done so many times during this streak, have found a way to win it.
They have done this so many times under so many different sets of circumstances in the last 3 weeks, but this was without question the wildest win of all 20. They are not from this planet right now.
They are not.
They begged the Kansas City Royals to win this game. The Royals came back from 11 down to tie it. Scott Hatteberg, the pinch hit home run to win it in the bottom of the ninth. 12-11 Oakland. Scott Hatteberg joins us from field level. Congratulations, Scott. I don't know if you can hear us down there. Are you guys ever going to lose a game?
Oh, jeez, I sure hope not. I'm going to have gray hair if we keep it up like this. So.
It's a good win for you guys, but 11-0 leads is going to stick with you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we jumped out early, and I think maybe let off a little bit. Didn't play real good baseball most middle innings, and they came back and they came back and made it a game. And hopefully we can learn from it and just keep the pressure on. But it's some kind of magic right now.
Scott, you're making, you guys are all turning Art Howe into an old man day by day, but look around you here. There's at least 40,000 still here from the 55,000 who were here before. There's a love affair going on in this town right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's so exciting to see. I mean, this is the fun time of year to play. We're playing well. Have them come out and support us. It's just nothing better.
Well, talk about, I mean, now tomorrow or the next day you start thinking about 21. I mean, is setting the record, is winning 27 in a row important, or are you just thinking about the Angels behind you?
Well, I think we're overshadowing how good they're playing right now. We're playing so good, yet we just can't pull away from them. So they're playing great baseball, and we know that they're right there on the horizon, and we're gonna have to go in and beat them. So, we got to keep this snowball rolling.
Last question: where does this rank among the big moments in your major league career?
This has got to be right at the top, boy, definitely.
Congratulations. Thanks for the time.
Hey, thanks. My pleasure.
Scott Hatteberg comes off the bench and smacks a game-winning home run. They are simply amazing. 20 consecutive wins for the Oakland A's, who led 11-0. Saw the Royals come all the way back to tie it up, only to see Oakland win it in dramatic fashion in the bottom of the ninth. A no-doubter to deep right field. A new hero every night for the incomparable Oakland A's, who have won 20 consecutive games, the longest winning streak in the history of the American League. They are off to Minneapolis to take on the Twins on Friday night. If they can beat the Twins Friday night, they'll match the Cubs for the second longest winning streak ever. The Cubs in 1935 won 21 in a row. The all-time record is 26. The A's are at 20 right now. The final, Oakland 12, Kansas City 11. A thriller here at Network Associates Coliseum tonight. NFL Yearbook is coming up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.